What's up, guys? Hope you're well tonight. What's up, Ricky, Apoc, Sweets, James? I see you guys. Sweets gets first. Thanks for the repost over there. As soon as the show goes up, Sweets has always reposted it. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. What's up, Fred? Ricky, how you doing? Good evening, guys. Magavelli's here. What's happening, folks? Over on Rumble, we got Gordo. What's up, Gordo? Nice new intro music. Very soothing. Yeah, indeed. Right? Don't go to sleep just yet, though. Let me properly put you to sleep. Yes. So what's going on? What's going on? If I missed anybody, say hi. I'll say hi back as we go. You know the drill. And yeah, we got a weird one, right? What's up, Carlo? I see you there. Welcome back. Long time no talk. Good evening. Good evening. And as usual, same thing as always. Just going to talk about weird stuff and take some calls and consider wild ideas. That's the whole point. And I hope you guys are doing well tonight. I'm okay. I'm completely recovered. And every time I four-wheel across rocky terrain now, I'm moving very slowly. Very slowly. What is going on, guys? Good evening. Good evening. Hello. Hello. What's up? What's up? Okay, getting ready to go 30 seconds. And what's up, Herschel? I see you there, buddy. Man, I'm itching to do that baseball one. Let me know if you want to do that, and we'll set that up. I almost did the baseball one tonight, and then I didn't. Can't get you on Rumble. What's up, Elizabeth? How you doing? What's wrong with Rumble? Is it broken? Gordon took a nap ahead of time. All right, here we go. Troubled Minds coming up. 15 seconds. Hold on your butts. Here we go. What's up, the Roberts? I see there. Here we go.
But I think the development of full artificial intelligence will spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
With a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
Won't let it happen. That's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51, alien kept deep under the ground.
1 0
Doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting, and of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, as usual, we're going to get weird. But we're going to not just get weird, we're going to get weird at scale. We're going Terrence McKenna weird. Now, there's an old saying goes, you never, what is it? I didn't write this down, so pardon me for just a second as I collect my thoughts. You never if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life, right? Something like that. I probably butchered that, but you get the idea. Meaning that we have sort of this kind of cooked into us a calling, a something that we love to do, maybe even something we were born to do. And it seems to be like this recurring theme throughout our lives. And I can only speak for myself, but of course I'm talking about not just the Joseph Campbell hero cycle and Carl Jung and the archetypes and just this notion that we're here for a reason. And specifically that reason, of course, depends on your reality tunnel. It depends on your upbringing, your interests, all manner of things. And so I'm not here to judge what that may be. It's just interesting that there's a wide variety of all of those things put together. And it brings to mind, of course, a lot of things, not just the, you do what you love, you never work a day in your life type of thing, but then also that it seems like we're all sort of shoehorned into these other things that we don't love to do. We pay the bills, or we do the this, or we do the that's, right? And that Billy Joel song comes to mind, the Piano Man, where, the waitress is practicing politics and the businessman slow to get stoned, right? They're doing something else. They're practicing some other thing that they're preparing for while they're doing something that maybe they don't loathe, but they don't typically really, really enjoy. You know what I'm saying? So it seems like there's this calling as part of it. And I was wondering about that. And not just specifically that direct thing, but the larger concept of it. And how come there is even, let's say, for instance, you were really into comics when you were young, okay? And let's say you always wanted to be a comic book artist or something, or a writer, or whatever it was, whatever the calling is, a singer, a musician. I won't even say a talk show host, because I never had this on my bingo card growing up because I was such a shy kid. But whatever it is, right? I'll tell you what, even though it's not like the talk show itself isn't something I had on my bingo card for myself, and I can only speak about me personally because I'm just me, as I always say. But clearly that the themes and the ideas that come into this show are really based in sort of that initial inspiration, the weirdness, the Fortean high strangeness, the multiversal realities of the comics and the Marvel universe. I mean, there's so many things that come into play here. That, of course, the Dungeons and Dragons, as it plays on the larger context of these conversations as the backbone of everything, how you can frame everything in Dungeons and Dragons. It's a really weird thing that even though you can kind of go, well, you're just a weirdo, Mike, maybe. But if I was doing this particular thing and talking politics, I would figuratively want to stab my eyeballs out, just because it's the same stuff over and over and over again. And you see these people, I'm not even gonna get into it and tell you what I think about the political pundits, but I'm sure you have a guess on what I think about that stuff, which of course leads me here to doing this, which again is very counterculture. It's very underground. It's very cool in a lot of ways, but I can see how the mainstream would be like, this is disinformation and rot and garbage, and I don't care. I could give a rip, but anyway, I digress on all that. But you get the point. It seems as if we're drawn to something. We're brought into a particular space when we're born. We're inspired by something, and dare I call it even a divine inspiration of sorts. Okay, something to that effect, and then maybe for the rest of our lives we're chasing it. And we have several sort of off-ramps in life, maybe more than several, maybe dozens, where you're doing what you love and then you get an opportunity to not do it for pay or for whatever it is. Again, life is complicated, the twists and the turns and all the rest. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's a weird thing, very specifically to start. But then it really fits into this write-up as we start. If you guys are into the write-ups, I do recommend it today. Well, I'm calling it refusing the call, when reality doubles down. And for instance, refusing the call would be very much like the hero's journey, okay? Which means you are the hero in Joseph Campbell's tale. And when the call comes, it's Luke Skywalker, and Obi-Wan shows up and tells him, come with me to Alderaan and learn the ways of the Force. And Luke's like, no, bro, I can't. Like the harvest and my uncle will kill me. No way, I can't do that. I cannot do that. It's refusing the call. Now, in this sense, the call isn't, let's say, chasing down the Force or Darth Vader or any of that. The call is simply, maybe, just maybe, what you're here to do. Okay? Now, we're going to get weird tonight. Very, very, very weird. So all the disclaimers apply as part of these conversations. There's no truth to be found here. There's just ideas, just trying to look at the world in a slightly different way. and maybe, just maybe, inspire you to do something that you never dreamed you could. That's it. It's very simple. It's very simple. Which leads us, of course, to novelty theory. How does that segue? Well, let me let Terence McKenna tell you how this segues. Now, listen to this. Specifically, we are coming up into the moment of that technological singularity. Okay, we've talked about this quite a lot on the show. And things are getting stranger and stranger and stranger. However, does that mean we divert from refusing the call? Does that mean the call of our initial inspiration when we were young should be cast aside because of technology and all these other things? Or do we embrace it? Do we notice it? Do we change this into, well, a new version of that same inspiration, which is what this is, by the way. Troubled Minds is exactly that. It's comic books, it's Dungeons and Dragons, it's 40 stuff, it's aliens, it's you name it. All the high strangeness strapped into one idea. However, let's listen to this from Terence McKenna, and then actually, let's hear it. Since I got it, let's listen to this. If you've never heard this, this is very poignant.
It's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is. I look for the invention of artificial life, the cloning of human beings, possible contact with extraterrestrials, possible human immortality, and at the same time, appalling acts of brutality, genocide, race baiting, homophobia, famine, starvation. The mushroom said to me once, it said, "This is what it's like when a species prepares to depart for the stars. You don't depart for the stars under calm and orderly conditions. It's a fire in a madhouse." And that's what we have, the fire in the madhouse at the end of time. This is what it's like when a species prepares to move on to the next dimension.
Now, I've talked about that clip many times on the show, but never played it. So I peeled it out. I removed the music, the background music, and there it is. So keep that thought in mind, and also this refusing the call idea and our initial inspiration. Okay, I'm going to bring all that back. We're going to talk about it right after the break, and I take one quick minute and get a word from our sponsor. In this case, that's Human Inspiration, which of course is why I'm here. I hope it's why you're here. And please give some love to our sponsors. Be right back. More Troubled Minds coming up in exactly 1 minute. Absolutely do not go anywhere. That's the wrong button. How about, oops, this one. In a world increasingly shaped by AI, human inspiration remains the beating heart of creativity. Alien Skin by Tremble, a hauntingly beautiful piano ballad, reminds us that while algorithms can mimic art, the raw, unfiltered emotions of human experience are irreplaceable. So here I sit, locked in my room again. Written and composed by Jesse Ian in collaboration with Todd Smith, this progressive masterpiece delves into the depths of internalized grief and the silent toll of artistic compromise. As AI reshapes our reality, Alien Skin stands as a testament to the timeless power of human emotion and the complex beauty that only true artists can evoke. Experience the haunting beauty of Alien Skin by Tremble and support human inspiration. Available now on iTunes. Please do that if you haven't. I'm sure it's a very inexpensive track, Alien Skin by Tremble. Please check that out if you guys have iTunes. If you don't, just go to iTunes.com, Apple.com, all the rest of that stuff, and check out the track, buy it, rent it, lease it, all the things that are available. It's just $1 or $2, and let's support our Human Inspiration sponsors and other human collaborators. Now back to this. So in that sense, Terence McKenna, and this is straight from the writer, believed that the universe was not moving toward entropy, talking about this weirder and weirder and weirder state, but toward novelty. Look up novelty theory, links are in the description. In his eyes, history wasn't a slow drift into the void. It was a tightening spiral of ever-increasing strangeness, climaxing an event he called the transcendental object at the end of time. A singularity not defined by machines outpacing human thought, but by reality itself becoming so self-aware, so recursive, that it began folding in on perception like an origami fractal. Time would accelerate. Events would compound. patterns would stack on top of patterns until coincidence wasn't just strange, it was unbearable. This wasn't just a theory about time. It was a warning about attention. Because if novelty is the engine of the cosmos, then to ignore the strange is to defy the script. The real heresy isn't questioning the narrative. It's refusing the call entirely. Now, back to where I started, and you see how this kind of starts to come together. Now, with novelty theory, of course, the more novel and weird and bizarre things get, this is what the universe tends to want within this framework theory, okay? And the more we step outside of our comfort zones, the more we sort of even maybe trace back our childhood inspiration and start re-emulating that as adults. Whatever this is, whatever these ideas are cooked in, okay? And even into a larger script or narrative, like a cosmic narrative per se, okay? Now, what does that mean? I don't know. Hang with me for just a minute, though, because this gets weird. So in this case, we talk about the quickening, the acceleration. I've been talking about this for a long time as technology is certainly accelerating. Every new day, there's a new AI system dropped, and it's going to turn the world upside down in probably 2 years, 5 years, and nobody really knows because this stuff they think is just a weirdo, tech world thing. A lot of people are even calling the AI stuff like an internet bubble, and I'm like, no, but anyway, I digress there. But we live in a world in this case where the veil is thinning, as I like to call this, that quickening. People see impossible lights in the sky. Clocks skip seconds when you fall down in a parking lot somewhere. Thought forms bleed into dreams and manifest as flickers on security footage for hauntings, etc. And yet, even when the evidence is personal, undeniable, and fractal, some refuse to acknowledge it. They push it away. They pretend nothing happened. But what if the act of refusal itself is the glitch? What if the simulation doesn't like to be ignored? What happens when reality starts doubling down? Which brings us all the way back to our inspiration, which brings us all the way back to the hero's journey and the calling. Whatever that calling is, whenever it happens to you, it's not something, in theory, that happens one time. You may have the in, but then also, it seems as if we're repeating patterns. As always, patterns repeating themselves within our lives, not just, let's say, personally, professionally, and of course, in the larger context of society. We're still killing each other in 2025. Some of the most horrific, brutal patterns continue, as Terrence McKenna was saying. But also some of that other wild and weird stuff seems to be happening. People whisper of contact with alien life, reverse engineering UFOs, all manner of things, whether you believe that stuff or not. It seems like we're on the cusp of something. What, though? I don't know. Now, back to the inspiration part. This is really where this kind of comes in and made me go, wait a minute now. So if Luke Skywalker said in that moment to Obi-Wan Kenobi, no, I can't. I cannot do it. Okay? He did. He said, I can't. But then, in a twist of fate, of horrific fate, the stormtroopers, we're talking about Star Wars, the episode 4, A New Hope, the stormtroopers traced the droids back to where they came from, to where Luke Skywalker lived, and ended up slaying his aunt and his uncle, thereby allowing him to answer the call. So did his refusal of the call result in that aspect? What if he had just said yes and left? Would they have chased him off and his aunt and uncle would have lived? I don't know. I'm just saying, this is fiction, of course, but the calling in that case is the Force. It is chasing down the bad guys of the cosmos and becoming the cosmic hero. But I'm talking about something quite a bit more simple. Your calling doesn't have to be the Force and lightsabers. Your calling, you already know what it is. I don't even have to tell you. But I will ask you tonight to think about it and think about why you're not doing what you should be doing. And if you are, God bless you. Keep doing it. It's an interesting idea. So we're going to get to more of this. This gets more weird with the refusal of the call. Joseph Campbell. We get into Carl Jung a little bit. Read the write-up if you haven't. It's very good. And I'm going to shut up now because we got James sitting there for a minute, and we'll get James on. But we are taking your calls tonight. The phone number is working. I tested it before we started. Everything's good. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. James, you read the write-up. How you doing? Thanks for popping in here. Welcome to the joint. How are you, sir? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, great topic, great write up. This has me thinking of something I just recently decided to do, which I told you about before, and I mentioned on my server. I realized I'm still trying to do too much with the podcast. I'm still putting too much strain in my eyes for no real good reason. And so I decided to cut down on my shows that I did, on the number of shows and the nights I record and all that stuff. I was sad to do it, but also it had to be done. But the thing I realized after I did that was maybe I can start writing again now on a regular basis. Because I hadn't been for a while. And I tried for a while and it kind of worked, but I was still so busy with everything for the podcast that I just didn't really get a whole lot done. And I didn't stick with it. So this is making me think of personal events like that, sort of personal realizations like that, where writing was my first calling. The podcast was maybe my second. And I can't say that one is greater than the other. I don't think that's really I don't think that's possible. But I was basically ignoring one for the other. And so, yeah, this really kind of hit home on that level tonight, but also with the paranormal, with the unexplained, with the anomalous things that happen, that have been happening throughout time. I can't tell you how often I've been looking into stories of people's experiences, and I'll find one and I'll read it and I'll be thinking, I have never heard of anything like this before. And that is always so amazing when that happens. Because as anyone that listens to my show and has seen all the episodes before will know, I've read a lot of stories for the show, probably hundreds now. And so I do think that as time goes on, there's going to be naturally things that happen that do break patterns that are different from the traditional stereotypical haunted house or the disc in the sky or the Bigfoot out there. Believe it or not, there is weirder stuff out there than any of that. And just based on reports. And so it made me think of all these things and makes me wonder how much weirder is it going to get?
Exactly. And according to McKenna, it's going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, as the clip said there. And so here's a bit of this, right? So what happens when someone refuses the inciting incident of their life story? Everything's set up. Maybe the players are in motion. The stage is all lit up and ready to roll. And the moment comes for you, personally, everybody out there listening. And you say, nah, it's too big a dream. Nah, it doesn't make any sense in a modern world that is so commercial. This will never fly. What happens? Do you think that there's sort of a recursive aspect that tries to draw you back to that point, that moment that maybe you should have taken over and over again throughout your life? And that's the question tonight. And does reality in some way continue to nudge you toward that dream? It's a wild question. We're going to get into other weird stuff, of course. What else you got on that, James? Tons of stuff here. And McKenna in this novelty theory, of course, gets more and more odd. We'll get into that as well, because it is something that really fits well into 2025 and that quickening and this acceleration in the technological singularity and what this means. But as usual, it's complicated. But when you boil it down to basic human inspiration, that's not very complicated at all. We all have it. We all know what it is. We all feel it. And so what is yours like? And that's what the show is about tonight. What else you got, James? Got a minute or two before we take a break?
Yeah, I don't know. I was drawn to writing as a kid. And it's one of those things where, I don't know, I can't imagine refusing that call now because it started so early. But it does make me wonder, what would I have done if I had refused that? Because when I was a kid, that was one of the few things I could sort of do that it didn't have anything to do with my low vision. I could do that at the time anyway, without that being an issue overall. I could write whenever I wanted to. I could take in stories, and ideas whenever I wanted to, and see how they fit and use them. And it was sort of an escape for me. But if I hadn't done that, I have no idea where I'd be now. If I'd even be sane at this point, or happy at all, and in any way, I have no idea. Makes me wonder about that. So yeah, that's a good place to stop for now, I think, with that. But it also does apply, I think, to all the paranormal stuff too. And we'll get into that more later if there's time as well.
Yeah, definitely. And that's another question too, as part of this. In those moments that you sort of turn down the call, you refuse. Do you think there are sort of catalysts that happen later that seem Fortean, that seem otherworldly, that seem like a UFO in the sky, the light in the sky that kind of jars you from reality for a moment? You think it's reality itself trying to usher you back to where you belong? It's the question. Not just the transcendental object at the end of time or novelty theory, but also something known as, and we'll get to this in just a second here after we come back from the break, but reality as a possible persistent narrator. That's what's on my mind tonight. I hope you guys are doing well. We're just hanging out, talking about weird things by dark of night, because it is our way. James Salcedo, you know him, you love him. SalcedoParanormal.com. Tell you all about him as we go. Thanks for sitting in, James. You're the best as always, as you know. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. We got Ricky coming up in your calls as well. What is your inspiration? So that waitress is practicing politics, the businessman is slow to get stoned. What are you doing? And where should you be? 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Be right back. More on the way.
Chasing the shadows, escaping the light. Caught in the drama, it's a harsh fight. Walls closing in, can you hear my call? This dance of fate, I'm ready to fall. Dreams go round like a record that's stuck. Time bends and breaks, man, I feel so struck. Moments rewind, but I push them away. I can't let this world force me to stay. Give me hope, give me hope. When I'm lost, give me hope, give me hope. Fragments of time bursting your net, calling my name, but I'm aware. Reality shifts like a bad dream. Every escape bursts at the seam. Lost in the echoes, trapped in this fight. Avoiding the truth, but it's burning bright. Every moment fleeting, can't let it break. Here in this madness, it's all it takes. Give me hope, give me hope. When I'm lost, give me hope, give me hope. Oh, we're rewriting the lines, twisting the fate that confines. Listen to the call, make it clear. Face what you fear. Take a leap here. Give me hope, give me hope. When I'm lost, give me hope, give me hope. Dancing on edges with every wrong turn. Fire in my chest, but there's so much to learn. Cracks in the surface, revealing what's real. Every heartbeat whispers it's time to feel. Give me hope. When I'm lost, give me hope, give me hope.
I kind of like that one. What's up, guys? Hope you're well tonight. What's up, Ricky APOC, Joe in Florida? What's up, Eric in Ohio? We got Jeff in Wisco. What's up, Don, Daryl, Matt South Sweets, Michael W. Hirsch. I see you guys over on Rumble. Theo's here. What's up, Gordo Mannequin? That's the Roberts. What's going on, guys? Gordo YY. Good evening. Good evening. If I missed you, say hi. I'll say hi back. What's up, Hikers here? Good evening. Hello, folks. Thanks to Sweets and Hiker and everybody for pinning all the things and all the places and sharing the links and doing all the things. Appreciate you guys very much. Who did I miss? If I missed you, just say hi. I'll say hi back. Trying to keep up. Mr. Michigan Trolls here. What's going on, my man? Good evening. Good evening. We got Joe in Florida, I think I said. Hello, hello. What's up, Fred? Got first over there on YouTube along with Sweets. What's up? What's up? Good. That's Eric. Dancers at the end of time, right? So we gotta read this one from the Robert. The Titanic was carrying a cargo of Mexican mayonnaise when it sank. This was the origin of Cinco de Mayo. Of course, Seis de Mayo, because tacos is every night. Here we go. Troubled Minds coming up right about now. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting, and of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, what if refusing your path doesn't make it disappear, but causes reality to fracture around you? What if every dismissed omen, ignored artifact, and broken prophecy doesn't fade, but waits, rewriting the world until you answer? Could the fabric of existence really be this reactive? Now, we talk a lot about on this show about manifesting the future, and a lot of business people talk about this, or inspirational coaches or whatever they call them these days, life coaches, whatever it is, right? Like you cannot achieve something until you put it out there, till you meme magic it into existence, and then once you do. Once you put the thing out, I saw this thing too, by the way, being sort of a failed businessman on and off throughout my life, that years ago, this guy was on YouTube, okay, and this seems ridiculous to say, but he was selling this software that would flicker sort of a number behind your screen as you were working, and it would be, so quick, it was kind of like that scene in, Fight Club, where, they slice that one scene into the rest of the movie, right? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. But it would flicker, and you wouldn't really recognize it when it was happening, but it was a subliminal message to yourself. And it was a business goal. It was, you type in your own number, let's say, even say starting from scratch, $500 this month, okay? And it would flicker sort of the 500 on and off subliminally, like you wouldn't notice it was happening, but it was happening. And then suddenly there was this manifestation aspect of it, because it had now not just become something, a goal, it was repeated in this digital space of a human interacting with a computer, a spreadsheet, or whatever the hell was going on, whatever it was, right? And the guy swore by it, and people were buying this software up like crazy. Sounds crazy like a gimmick, right? But a lot of people swear by the idea. And the idea is it cannot exist until you dream it, until you want it, until you set a goal. And then once that happens, and I'm not trying to say this is real or not real, you decide. I'm saying this seems to be the way reality works in some capacity. But what if it's the opposite? What if you turn it on its head and the dream calls to you? And if you ignore it or refuse it, it repeats and comes back to you. Maybe even flickering super fast like that. Maybe slowly. Maybe those synchronicities that we miss, or those paranormal lights in the sky, whatever it is. I don't know. It seems strange, right? Manifesting reality through force of will, almost as if we're collaborating with the universe on a daily basis. But you get what I mean. But what if it's the opposite? And it's trying to draw us where we should be. And that's our initial inspiration that we should be doing now. I don't know. What's your idea? And of course, this leads us into that idea that I teased. I should probably talk about it real quick. Reality is a persistent narrator. So with these minor glitches, whatever we talk about, dreams repeat, coincidences tighten, strangers reflect private thoughts sometimes, these synchronicities that you think couldn't possibly trace back tend to? And is it that pattern-seeking human that we are? Or is it the universe poking us and prodding us, putting us on the path we should be by recognizing the larger context of what's in play? I don't know. As usual, no answers, just more questions. James, anything on that? We'll go to Ricky.
Yeah, this is, there's so many levels to this. It makes me think about how there's been a couple times recently where, not directly in the show or because of the show, well, partly because of the show, but in private conversations and then also in the show, poetry came up in the conversation. And I even had a friend of the show ask me one night in a voice chat, what is poetry to you? And I had no idea. And now I'm doing this project where I'm reading my books out loud for my Patreon feed. Again, I don't like talking about myself, so for anyone that hears this, it may seem otherwise, but it's not. And I'm reading my books out loud. And it's actually not as bad as I had been afraid it was going to be. And I don't think I would have done that without people wanting audio versions of my books, because I never planned on doing that. I never planned on reading any of my stuff out loud like that. And so there's these things that have been coming up recently that have been leading me back to my writing in ways that I had never expected before. So I don't know. If that's reality doing things to get me to that point or not, I have no idea, but it seems possible.
Absolutely. And don't forget the massive inspiration from this place, this space that we've created, all the amazing folks. Shout out Herschel there, reading his own stories to us, and then also doing it on his Discord and, recording them, rereading his stuff. I mean, this is, it is magic in the most, let's say, specific way. When you write something, there's no better person to read it than the person who wrote it, because every pause, every cadence, slow down, speed up, whatever, as part of it. It's built into you. It's cooked into you because you created the thing. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird how all that stuff really starts to kind of come back, and we forget these things. And so the question really becomes, is it possible that the universe is kind of nudging you back to those spaces, to those ideas, and bringing you, in this case, or let's say, put it this way. So reality is a persistent narrator, and a story engine trying to re-engage a disengaged protagonist, which of course is you, is me, is everybody. I don't know. It's a weird thing to consider. Anything on that, James, real quick, and then we'll go to Ricky.
Yeah, it does make me wonder about even just the paranormal aspect of everything, the unexplained things, because those can lead you to the things that you're good at doing or the things that you like to do as well. It's not always just about sort of being so random that it makes no sense or it surprises you or any number of other things. Sometimes it can have direct sort of meaning or synchronicities with what you are interested in doing. So that's it's not all the cases, but it is some cases. And I've had experience with that myself as well. So I do think that that happens, and how it happens or why it happens, I don't know, but it's definitely there.
Seems to be. So the couple questions as we start. So have you ever ignored something unexplainable and did it escalate afterward? That's the Terence McKenna novelty theory. The second one, as we get to this, the reality is a persistent narrator. Have you ever felt like life was repeating itself just to get your attention? See how weird we're getting tonight? We're getting super weird. We're going deep. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Love to hear your thoughts on this. And manifesting reality is one thing, but what about reality manifesting you into the space you should be? Ricky in Tennessee. What's up, brother? You're on Troubled Minds. How are you, sir? Anything is possible podcasting. Go right ahead.
Good. How about you?
Pretty good. No complaints out of me. Just living the dream. Weird stuff by dark and night with my friends.
Only place to be, for sure. Good to be here. I was just thinking about it, like, I know, like, for me personally, we, having things not, sitting there talking to you or, trying to nudge you in a certain direction, and I know me personally going through things where, I'm like, I'm like, you look at it and go, no, leave me alone. Kind of, you just want to shun it and you want to push it back. Like, I can't do this, or you just have that doubt in your mind, and you have that doubt in your, I can't truly do this. I can't. I'm not that good, or whatever. And I had it with my coaching, with the gym and stuff like that, and even with the podcast. I've had people years ago told me, like, I need to do something like that. I need to get, use my voice and do stuff. And I'm like, nobody will care what I got to say or anything like that. And now it's now after starting and everything, it was. And getting to the process is like, man, well, I met all these wonderful people, and I met people all around the world now because of getting into it, and getting, finding you and the Troubled Minds people, and then actually adding to that and getting so many. So it's like, and then people want to hear what I had to say. It's kind of it's amazing, having so many people, and so many people I never met in person is support me and backs me on that. And with my gym and stuff, I had in my mind, like, I remember as a kid, I wanted to be a coach. I want to have my own gym. I was like, man, that's my goal. I want to have my own gym. And then years went by. I'm like, man, it's just not going to happen. And I put doubts in myself. And I'm like, I can't. I'm not good enough to have a gym. I'm not, my abilities aren't there to have a gym. I'm not there. And just kept getting pushed, like, no, you can do it, and you can do it. And now that I've been coaching for like almost 8 years now, and it's like, and now I've gone full time within the last over a year ago now. And if it's, taking, it's a scary, taking them chances and listen to them, like the world pushing on you, like, and pushing you down and pushing you, this is what you can do. This is your God-given gift of being able to do these things and relate to and give back to people. Why aren't you? And everybody has their gifts and their abilities to do things, and everybody has their different things. Like, like Herschel tells stories. He does it amazingly, and James talks, the paranormal. He does it amazingly. We all have our gifts and our stuff that we do so well. And if we didn't do them, I heard James say, where it'd be, it's, I'm thankful that he is doing this. We all are doing this and coming together. It's, we as a people, I believe, we need to embrace our gifts and pull them in. Like, okay, stop being so hard on yourself. Stop being so doubting yourself. Be positive. You're going to go through valleys and hills and all that and through life. This is life. But, be positive on yourself. It's like, I can do this. If this is your gift, or this is your, like, true deep down in your soul that you feel it, like, this is what I want to do, then do it, because life's too short not to, to look back when you're 65 or 80 or, like, well, I could have done that. I had, you don't want to do that. I imagine that's the worst feeling in the world. To look back, over a lifetime ago, I could have done that, but I didn't. I didn't take that chance, and we need to take them. People need to take more chances like that, I think.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. And the bizarre part too is that now this is one of those old philosophy things that, look, if you think you're too old now, imagine how old you'll be in 10 years, how old you'll be in 20 years, right? Again, assuming tomorrow's not guaranteed, but like, you'll never be younger and more capable, more healthy than you are in this moment. Okay. Things are going to get older. Things are, you're going to fall down a couple times in a parking lot. You're going to, who knows what tomorrow brings. And so those are the things where you're like, well, it's too late. And don't forget this too. I think it was I see this meme go around a lot. I haven't fact checked it, so forgive me if I'm wrong, but they say that J.R.R. Tolkien didn't start writing The Lord of the Rings till he was like 45 years old, something like that. So surely he's too old to do that, right? Are you? Whatever it is your calling is. And I love your story there specifically that you wanted to own your own gym. You wanted to be that guy. And it seemed like it was getting away and would never return. And what made you say, you know what, I'm going to do this. I don't care if I fail. this is my thing and I have to do it. Was there a moment where the universe sort of drew you back to your dream? And that's what tonight's show is all about. Was there a moment you can remember, or was it just sort of a whole bunch of things happening, sort of those synchronicities that you couldn't ignore?
It was me coming together with certain people. Like when I started coaching, a friend of mine opened his own gym, and I was like, was doing his own thing. I was like, I'll come down there and check it out. I try to be very supportive of all my friends. I might not get to them all the time, but I'll try at least be in your gym at least once or twice, and show support, just because life happens and everything. So I went down there and talked to him, and I trained with him, and then through that I met some other guys, and they had they owned the gym, and with the chance of meeting with them, and then I turned around and I seen them at the fights, and I was like, hey, I can come down there if you want and work with your guys a little bit, and I got a few tricks up my sleeve I can show your guys, and I don't mind. He's like, okay, cool. And then I never left. I just kept on doing it. It's just like, it was, the guys really wanted me to, it was the love there was like, hey, the guys are really into like wanting to see what I can do, and it was really fun because they would bring random people in there and try to see if the guy could beat me up or something. It was fun. It was to see the test me. He's like, is he really as good as thinks he is, or we think he is? And I was like, all right, and I kind of rolled whoever they had come up. It was fun. It was, and then I kept on, and then it did. It was like, wait a minute, I can. Now my dream is there at the grasp, and it's right here. And I kept on, and then. Last year, one of the guys I did a gym with, he decided he wanted to be a missionary, and he went over. He's going to go to Nepal and be a missionary. And of course, he took care, like, he had a set schedule. His schedule was set in stone, so he could be there at the gym no matter what. My schedule was I might go in at 6 in the morning, I might get off at 6 in the evening, I might get off at 10 o'clock at night. Who knows? That was whatever happened with the work, and if the plant broke down, I had to get it going. So, and when he decided that, it was like, either possibly lose this dream or take them steps and go, let's go, and roll them dice. And that's what I did, over a year ago now. I just rolled them dice, and it's there's been some ups and downs and sideways, but it's truly been a blessing and a great thing that come to my life, just from the people coming to me and thanking me for what has, my influence has helped their children's life and stuff. Even grown children, like, man, thank you for, you helped him or helped her. And it was like, and it just re-edified that, hey, I took the right choice. I took the right, jumped in and took that opportunity, and if I wasn't there taking this opportunity, I wouldn't, those kids and grown folks too, that maybe they wouldn't have the avenue they have now and be in a good path. So it's just the world, the cosmos, and God has kind of pushed me in this one spot and being here for these people that need me. And it's amazing how things just kind of come together and click.
Yeah, the collaborative aspect is really, really important there. Sometimes you need somebody to kind of come into your life to get your ass up off the couch or whatever, right? Whatever's going on. And I mean that in the nicest way. Whatever it is you're doing that you shouldn't be doing, to kind of draw you in and say, look, this is what's happening, and this is right down your alley. You should check this out. And then you go and you're like a fish in water. You're like, hey, this is amazing. And yeah, can I do this? Absolutely. And I don't know, like I said, we are drawn back to these ideas, of course, because it is sort of our formative ideas. It's our formative inspirations. And so many of us, again, they've written songs about this. They've written novels about this, on and on and on. This is a historical trope back to the waitresses practicing politics and the businessmen slow to get stoned. Why, though? Why are they doing this instead of that? Because, right, society, paying bills and all this stuff, right? But God bless you, brother, for kind of persevering through that. There's doubt. There's always doubt. Hey, there's doubt that I could be a talk show host. Doubt. Okay, now it's years and years later. There's no doubt. It's bizarre, man. It's weird how the universe draws us to places, even unexpected. This was not on my bingo card, but you know what was? Talking about the nature of reality, having conversations with amazing friends, wondering about consciousness? Are aliens real? What about artificial intelligence taking over the earth? That's, the laundry list of some of those questions that are fired off in the intro there. Telling you what, man, inspiration comes in many ways and it manifests in some ways that might surprise you sometimes. But absolutely, God bless you in the work you're doing, because you re-engaged a dream and are manifesting it in real time. Fire stuff. What else you got, my man?
I appreciate it. And people say, well, I'm too old. What was I saying? The colonel with KFC, he didn't start cooking chicken until when he was 65 years old, and then turned around and made a franchise of a KFC chicken. And there's so many times you hear that, like so many people started later in life, like they started in their 40s, they started in their 50s. And on my side, I got a friend of mine. I always tell the story about my friend because he is, to me, it's inspirational to others. Is my friend Ralph, and he started doing jiu-jitsu at 62. He's 70, still doing it, and you couldn't tell. He goes to tournaments and competes against younger guys and all kinds of stuff. But it's like, age is just a number. It's a mindset, And if you really do want to do something, let's do it. We only have a finite time before we're not here no more. So let's we say grab life by the horns and let's go.
Giddy up. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. It's a bizarre thing. And again, the reason I'm talking about this in the way that I am is for exactly that reason. There's a lot of us out there that haven't really engaged and maybe wanted to, or thought you weren't good enough. All the rest of that stuff, all those doubts plague everybody, by the way. So you're not alone there. However, you got a hidden, latent talent that's built into you, that's cooked in since you were very small. And if you're not doing it and enjoying it, I don't know. I think we have some problems, don't we? And that's exactly what tonight is about. I appreciate you, brother. A couple minutes left if you got anything to add. But as I said, an inspiration to old ideas, and let's continue cooking, and let's continue regardless of age. What's the way it goes? Young despite the years, hope despite the times. What you got, Ricky?
That's really it. As always, I appreciate you having, taking the time to do this and, bringing all these people together with these like minds. And I figured it sounded when I read the write up on it, and I was like, I'm gonna call in tonight. I got hooked my mic up and everything. I was like, I'm gonna be ready because I think this is, my story might help, and this is, I truly, it's not like me bragging on me, is, maybe my story to take, inspire somebody else and go, well, wait a minute, well, this one guy here, if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's one of them things. I really, I ain't the greatest of all time of anything, but I'm hard headed and I'll keep on keeping on. But so that's my hope. That's why I wanted to call in tonight, to maybe inspire somebody. Maybe they want to do this, or they have doubts, or on the couch, around the edge to see, I want to do it, but maybe I can't do it. Try it. There's nothing wrong with a failed try. There's only thing wrong is when you never try. It's
exactly right. Exactly right. Inspiring stuff. Appreciate you very much, Ricky. And you know him, you love him. Anything is possible is the name of the podcast. You know where to find it. Just search it that way. A.I.P. Ricky. You'll find it, or go to troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down a little bit. It is alphabetical and it says Ricky right there. Click on that and you will find his podcast and the work he's doing with his radio show. And his bros there, Jamie and what's the other guy's name?
Dave.
Yes, Dave. Yes, Dave and Jamie. Yes, I tune in when I can. Fantastic stuff, smart guys, and lots of things happening in the world that are worthy of discussion, and that's the point. Great stuff. Again, anything is possible is the name of the podcast. troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down until you find Ricky. Click that. Go check it out. Go give him a follow on all the places. Ricky, you're the best. God bless you. Keep on keeping on, and thanks for popping in here tonight. Always a pleasure, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. That's what we do, making friends all over the world and talking about these ideas. I don't know. It's a strange thing. What keeps drawing you back? And why? Clearly, there's an inspiration aspect, and there's a collaborative effect with the cosmos, or the nature of reality. Weird, right? So what aren't you doing that you should be doing is my question. James, anything to add? A minute or so? Or if not, I can tease the next thing in.
Well, this makes me think about, talk about inspiring, doing a show on why people have the different reactions to anomalous events that they do at some point, whether it's here with you or my show or whatever. But I think that's a fascinating topic as well, because people have so many different reactions to these things that happen. And that's not a negative, that's not a put down in them at all. I wonder how that works, and if there's more people that have experiences than we know, or if there's not, and it's just a thing that happens to not random, but fewer people than we think as well. Just raises a lot of questions, and so thank you for doing that.
Yeah, and thanks for being part of it. Absolutely. Talking about wild things here, not just sort of manifesting. How about this? Let's also wrinkle that question in. Do you believe it's possible to manifest a future through intention, through blood, sweat, and tears, as it has been said? Is it possible that there's a jostling back from a greater consciousness, from the cosmos, reminding you through synchronicities of who you were, of what you wanted, of where you should be? I don't know. As usual, no answers from me, just more questions as part of these conversations. But I do wonder what's actually happening. And some things seem too, let's say, how would you describe it? Oops, wrong button. Seem a little too eerie when it comes to synchronicities. I don't know. What are your thoughts? 702-957-1037 and click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Talking about not just Terence McKenna, novelty theory, but what about refusing the hero's call? What happens next? Be right back. More Troubled Minds coming up. Don't go anywhere. Hello there, friends. What's going on? If I missed you, just say hi. Steve in England, how you doing? We got Ioxys here. What's up, Shane? Lucid Dreaming with the Blind Psychonaut. What's up, Fred? James, fire stuff as always, brother. I hope you guys are well tonight. Just hanging out, doing stuff. Thanks for the call, Ricky. Yeah, this is what it's about, right? Like, I don't know. Sometimes just the right person needs to say the right thing at the right time, and then it can change somebody's life. That's why these conversations are so important. What's up, Kelly? How you doing? What's up, Eric? Exactly. Good stuff, Ricky. Appreciate that. Who did I miss? Mr. Mission Control, Sweets. How you doing? Robert. The Robert says this, James. I'm sure you caught it in the chat, but he says, I have all your books, James, taken from a fellow writer. You write well. There you go. See, sometimes you just need to hear it from somebody else. The doubts. Hiker over on Rumble says, I hope people keep learning to treasure human creations as the knockoffs become more omnipresent. Exactly right. And another pin one from Theo. Thanks for pinning those. Whoever's doing that over there, that's either Hiker or YY. Theo says, I want to write a cozy historical military fiction about the siege of Leningrad. Well, get busy, buddy. Get on it. What are you waiting for? Yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, it's a weird thing to consider. Not just that, but this novelty theory and that acceleration I'm always talking about. It's I don't know. It definitely kind of cooks into this in some strange ways. And why are we not doing what we want to do? I don't know. Like, this is our life, right? Like, I don't care what you say anymore. This is my life. A little more Billy Joel, right? Seems like he was dealing with probably a lot of this, a lot of something like this. I don't know. If I miss you guys, just say hi in the chat. I'll say hi back. Do my best to keep up, and hope you're well tonight. Just hanging out, doing what we do, and more Troubled Minds coming up. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Is it possible that reality kind of jostles back and reminds you through synchronicity of who you really should be? That's what's on my mind tonight. Here we go. Troubled Minds happening now. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, we're talking about Joseph Campbell, Terrence McKenna, Carl Jung. What happens in the hero's journey when you refuse the initial call? Does it return? Does the universe conspire to bring you a second call, a third call, a fourth call, a fifth call? And what happens when it does? That's what I want to know. Lots of things in play here, lots of wild ideas, and of course, as you know, non-linear, open-ended. We can take this any way you guys like. But it dawned on me that I'm here for a very bizarre reason. I've got a very, bizarre story of how I turned into a talk show host of all things. Again, as a B-side, it's not paying the bills in that regard, but you know what I mean. It's strange. It's just strange how some things lead you down the inspiration avenue and then you turn into something that you never dreamed. Or maybe I dreamed about this all along because, of course, I'm an old Art Bell fan. Maybe this was sort of the catalyst within me that was burning in my belly that I never knew I wanted, and I did. I don't know. It's a strange thing. Inspiration is incredibly bizarre, but basically the question comes down to, is it possible to not just manifest your own reality, but is the universe conspiring with you? That becomes the question. Nobody on the line, if you guys want to jump in here and tell me what you think about this. I think it's complicated. There's a lot to it, but I think the personal stories really kind of turn this into where this heads. If you guys read the write-up, you'll know what I mean. I'll read a little bit more of that in a sec. James, anything you got on that or anything else? Anything Ricky said? And then we'll keep on trucking here.
Yeah, great call from Ricky. It's funny because we've talked about this before too. Like I didn't start my podcast or calling into shows until about 5 or 6 years ago now. I never thought about that. But I remember when I used to listen to all kinds of shows on all things paranormal and UFOs and all those things, I'd be in my apartment here, just sitting here and listening or doing whatever I was doing, and just start talking out loud like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder about this and that. And then eventually I thought, should I start my own show? And it's like, nah, there's plenty of shows out there already. There's so many shows out there. And so I just, set it aside for a while. I thought, no, it's probably not necessary. And I kept on hearing shows and kept on thinking of things and wondering about things. And And eventually I just thought, well, I don't know. Even if no one listens, it could be fun. And so I tried it, and I was so nervous that first, I don't know, 10, 20 shows I did. I was so nervous that first handful of phone calls I did in the shows, including being here. I remember when I first called in, I had no idea who you. I knew it was this Mike guy. I don't know who he is, but oh, I'll try anyway. And never thought I'd be here, sitting in with you as often as I end up doing, or being almost at 5 years with my own show.
Keep on trucking. Keep on trucking.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is a wild thing. I don't know. It's the inspiration leads in bizarre directions sometimes is for sure the thing. But so do you think there was a catalyst that kind of drew you back into sort of being a creative soul again? Like, because as we were describing earlier, this is the point, is that the jostling back of the cosmos itself. Do you think there's some part of that, like the synchronicities of Carl Jung really are us recognizing who we should be? You think there's something to that?
I think so. I think I was writing, but only here and there. And so I didn't have overall much of a purpose in what I was doing. The writing has always been fun, but it's not something I ever did to try to get a message out or to help people or to do anything like that. The podcast is where I thought, well, maybe if this can help someone, if I can share these experiences that all these people have and to let others know they're not alone. And if that helps anyone anyway, then why not do it? And so, yeah, I think just hearing about experiences and knowing that I've had so many of my own and realizing no one has heard them except for a few family and friends. It just, yeah, I think and so I needed a purpose. And I think the podcast really has become that purpose, and not just because of doing a podcast or talking. I'm still not a big talker outside of when I'm doing these shows. Especially out in public, because not everyone is into all these things. But yeah, and it's just, if it helps, then how can I not do it? Even if I'm terrible at it, which I don't think I am at this point, I've gotten over that. Then why not help if I can?
Amen. That's what it's all about. 100%. If you can, like I said, that butterfly effect, if you can inspire one person that maybe inspires another, then suddenly all bets are off, and who knows what can be achieved. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this tonight. We're talking about all manner of things, of course, not just Terence McKenna refusing the call of Joseph Campbell, the archetypes of Carl Jung, and what about these synchronicities reaching through the ether to maybe remind us where we should be, put us back on track. What do you know about this? Is this something you've seen in your life? Something that suggests that maybe, just maybe, manifesting directly is, dare I say, overrated, and maybe the universe is doing its fair share back at us? 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. It is as easy as that. So let's go to Joe in Florida. What's up, my man? Our own Florida man. Welcome back to the joint. Been a good friend for a long time. How are you, sir? And go right ahead.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, coming through loud and clear.
Well, you said Florida man, and I've been refusing the call to be on the news as Florida man.
Well, there it is. Now we're on the same page, because I don't want to see you on the news as Florida man either.
Oh my gosh. I apologize. I'm looking at other things right now. I'm listening to you, but I'm supposed to be going to Japan on Monday. I'm not a good traveler. But anyway, that's probably not my calling. But funny thing today, specifically today, and at my age, I feel like I'm going through a midlife thing, but that's a whole nother room full of therapists that probably can't handle it. But I've been having a hard time at the job and a lot of other things in life. And the job has been particularly easy. I should really be grateful, because it's just me and two other guys. It's not the corporate hell that I was in 3 years ago. But I've been agitated. I got other things going on and stuff. But I'm like, do I want to do something else besides being a funeral director? And today, I had a burial. Well, the family member was supposed to come in from Maine, and the flight got canceled yesterday. So he couldn't make it out. I had to cancel the church this morning. I was scrambling to get this guy's wishes done for his mother-in-law. And we gambled. I talked to my boss. We gambled. I told the gentleman yesterday, I said, you got to get on the first flight out. We'll try to back everything up at the cemetery. We'll try to get a priest backed up. We're trying to move all these things. It's a little bit like being a wedding planner with a day or a couple of days to do it, but maybe not as many details as a wedding planner. No offense to anybody that plans weddings. Anyway, we get to the cemetery this afternoon, and whenever I'm always doubting myself, somebody writes a letter. Well, this is what happens today. The gentleman shakes my hand. He gives me a tip. I put the tip in my pocket. I don't look at the tip. I don't like to really take tips, but you get them once in a while. I come home today to the house, and the hot water heater is done. And I've never changed the hot water heater. It wasn't that hard. Started taking everything apart. Well, I look at the tip that the gentleman gave me, $300 in cash for doing a half hour's worth of work. The hot water heater was $450. Hey, I called it even Steven. Maybe I'm in the right industry. But I did.
Just real quick, hold the thought. For those that don't know, many of you do, but there's a lot of people that kind of come and go in the nature of the podcast. Joe is a funeral director, so if it's what he's saying is a little throwing you off a little bit, that will snap it all in. Go ahead, sir.
So lately, like tonight, one of my queries, whatever it was, queries, whatever you want to call it, on Google, was where else in the world can I be a funeral director? Where else? Just cut and go. Things presenting themselves, I don't know. I mean, at 51, I still DJ when I can. I do enjoy that. Not that you could realistically make a living. I could, if I sold out as a wedding DJ. I could probably clean up and make good money doing that. But I don't want to put up with drunken idiots at a wedding. So I'm trying to look at the job that I have now. Does allow me some time off. Sometimes we work 6 hours a day. I should be grateful for that. That's maybe where I should be. What I started doing a few weeks ago, which I really should open the laptop and finish it, because you guys have all been encouraging me, is I should write a book. And I started writing some things. But I just don't know how to take it, because the story would be starting in the crematory, which was a little bit more fun, albeit still morbid, but fun. If I told those stories around the campfire, you would probably laugh and scream at the same time. But I always think about my first day as a funeral director and bring you to tears. So do I want to write all those things in a book of experiences? Maybe I should. And now, more than ever, with James out there and a bunch of other resources, I'm sure I can get help publishing something. But at my age, 51, I've had a couple of things go sideways. I thought maybe I should have more by now. Maybe I should have, maybe I shouldn't. I serve a lot of masters. I don't serve myself. And ultimately, if you want to do what you're doing, if you want to do the call, maybe, I don't know, maybe it is serving yourself before you serve others. Maybe that's how you hear the call without all the distractions. I think that's what we need to know. Does it just land in your lap? Or when you're refusing the call, is it because you're consciously refusing it, or is it because you're serving others? I mean, how does that work?
That's a hell of a question.
How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know.
The last caller was great. The last caller mentioned somebody taking off to be a missionary. How does that work? If you got a family, how does that work?
I see the young Mormons riding around the bikes all the time. They're riding in the rain yesterday. Matter of fact, it was pouring out here, and they were out there riding their bikes in the rain. I don't. And so too. I recognize when he said that too. When Ricky said that about sort of a missionary calling. Look, that's perfectly legitimate too. I don't draw those lines and say what is what and what isn't. I mean, your calling is your calling.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
Nothing
exactly. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Like, go get it. It's to me, it's always been an inspirational thing. Sort of seeing, the Mormons out there kind of doing their thing. You could, I see how you could look at it in a bunch of different ways, but I don't know, like if it really is your true heart, and kind of follows you into your middle age, from the initial stage there, and it is where you think you should be. I think absolutely go get it. Go get it. There's going to be people that need to hear what you say somewhere, and if you're not saying it, nobody's hearing it. That's for sure.
I didn't think about being a funeral director. Sometimes I feel like fate, if we want to call that the argument here, maybe put me there. But even tonight, while looking at other jobs, whoop-de-doo, I got a bachelor's degree in political science and history. What good would that do that now? What good would that do me now? However, I did toy with the idea of working for a 3-letter agency. And apparently now I'm revisiting that, and apparently now it doesn't really age discriminate, because you used to age out at 37. But I had been asked, and it always came up, I had been asked by 2 directors of a 3-letter agency, probably when I was 25, 26, that I should think about applying. And that was over all of the law enforcement that was in the school, in the college classes, in hindsight. And it still toys with me that maybe that's something I should have done. Or write research papers, because I've written some papers and I've written some arguments. I think you've seen some of them, right? And I enjoy that, making that argument. But maybe that's something, you feel old, you feel like you want to revisit it at this age. I should just stay being a funeral director and then enjoy the time off that I have with that job, and maybe pursue other interests while I'm in the office, because they do allow me to pursue other interests in the office. If I wanted to feel like learning how to day trade, I could do that while I'm in the office. If I wanted to write my book, I could do that while I'm in the office. So for some people, maybe that calling, maybe work, if you can, is just a way to pay the bills. But your hobbies and everything else might be your true calling. I just have too many of them. I cosplay, costumes, I try to do whatever I can. Lately, I'm in a rut. That's all. Maybe I should find one thing to do and stick with it. Maybe I should sell everything. But I have kids. I can't move to the woods. So.
I've recently had an inspiration after I fell and lost 3 to 5 seconds of time or whatever, to retreat to the desert and buy some land and just, build something with my hands. Maybe.
Have you been watching all those? Do you watch those videos? All I have is Facebook. I get caught up on those videos of all these people in the wilderness doing and I used to be a decent Boy Scout, and I'm like, I'm here in Florida. I can't even, why would I make a fire? I'd have to stay on fire. It doesn't even rain. What would I do? But I have these romanticized ideals or ideas of being in a camper, going somewhere and roughing it in the snow, and living off YouTube videos and everything else, but I'm just way too old to do that right now. Had we had these videos and things like that when we were younger, we'd probably be millionaires. That's what me and my buddy tell each other.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Education has really become commoditized. If you can, anything you want to learn, you can learn on YouTube in probably 6 to 8 weeks if you really put your nose to the grindstone, which is nuts.
10 minutes to take out, or in 10 minutes to take out a water heater to replace it.
Nice. Yeah, exactly. Nice. Congratulations on that, by the way. I've never done that myself either. And so that becomes the thing, right? Suddenly all the things that you would have to, bust open some manual and pull out a magnifying glass to read, because I know you've seen those manuals, which are ridiculous. So got the little screw that has the line that goes into the thing, and it's labels.
Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. Seriously, basically somebody with perfect vision would have trouble with this. If you got even astigmatism, you're screwed. Good luck. But now YouTube, they're like, here's a perfect picture. Here's the hard part. Let me show you the hard part of the trick to do it. And then, hey, welcome to it, man. It's a crazy world we live in, and it's a beautiful time. It's just, it's kind of been co-opted by the malcontents and the politicos and all the rest of that stuff. But in terms of learning, it's all there. It's all in front of you. You can learn whatever you want. Most of what I'm doing here with all the technology and stuff, I learned from just watching somebody else do it and trying and failing and then figuring it out. It's crazy.
Only if we can learn in the Matrix. So tank, I need a program the Flybell helicopter, and it just gets downloaded in there.
It might be coming.
If it was that easy.
Wait for your Neuralink, bro. It's coming.
Oh, God. I don't know. I don't think I want pictures of Elon Musk in my head. I don't know. Anyway, there's other callers. I've rambled enough. I see Night Stalker on there. Hope everybody's doing well this week. And stay safe. And, yeah, if you have time and you can keep a roof over your head, try to dip your foot into your dreams, I guess, if the call comes knocking.
I think you have to. Travel safe. Have a good time in Japan. I've never been there myself. Let us know how that goes. Don't worry about the travel. Do some sort of transcendental meditation, and maybe you'll be able to teleport from here to there. You're the best, brother. Appreciate you very much.
Yeah, it'd definitely be better than flying it to Newark, New Jersey if I had to do that.
Boo. I've never been to Newark either, but I hear.
Well, you heard about the problem they had there, didn't you?
No.
Oh, that's the joke. So I guess maybe last week, it's funny because I had friends go to a concert, Dark Force Fest, and the plane was stuck in Tampa. But anyway, for 90 seconds, the air traffic control radar and the communications simultaneously, curiously, went out in Newark, New Jersey. And it's come out that air traffic controllers were saying, do not come to Newark, do not fly here, because it's that bad. So anyway, makes you start to wonder between the blackout in Spain and Portugal and what happened in Newark, if somebody really does have something that does a little bit more than Havana syndrome, but that could be a show for another time.
Strap in. All the doom mongers are out in force saying it's the Schumann resonance, it's the pole flips, or everybody's telling us the end is nigh because we lost some power here or there. Anyway,
losing sleep over it. I'm not losing sleep over it. However, if you could just vibrate or put a little current or magnetism in wires, I would assume you could wreak havoc on a grid. And then I would have to assume that at Newark, if the communications went down and the radar went down, unless it was a total power outage, why would you have two systems linked? But anyway, that's just another total conspiracy. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not out there doing any of that. I'm just telling you, just like I showed you that death certificate during the virus that was not to be named, if you remember that.
I sure do. I sure do. It's good knowing people in different parts of the world that do different things because they see some things that others may not. So thank you for sharing that. We'll talk about that another time when you feel up to it. But again, travel safe. Thanks again for the call. Thanks for dipping in here. And
have a good night, guys.
You too. Don't forget your dreams, brother. That's Joe in Florida. You know him, you love him. Been a good friend for a long time. And again, to reframe all the rest of that, if he's saying some weird stuff, yes, he's a funeral director. He has been as long as I've known him. He's been part of this show for over 6 years. And this is, as I like to call it, part of that invisible process that happens and people have to deal with when somebody passes away. And you don't think about it, but there's people that are sort of handling that transaction. It's a wild thing. Okay, so back to this. Now we're basically talking about refusing the hero's call. Now, do you think it claps back? Do you think that in some capacity it's asking for more? Let me read from the thing. It's probably the best way to do it without rambling on. Excited to take care, Florida man. Hey, he's not a Florida man. I mean, not technically in that regard. Anyway, so the refusal of the call, Joseph Campbell's early pivot point in the monomyth, was always framed as a moment of fear, hesitation, or comfort clashing against destiny. But in a world rapidly careening toward novelty saturation, what once was symbolic might now be literal. To decline the strange in an era where the strange is the operating system is no longer just character development. It's defiance of the scaffolding that holds the entire illusion together. And again, we are coming dangerously close, and I mean dangerously in a fun way, if that makes any sense, to that technological singularity. What does it mean? And if we reject the strange outright and continually, and things do get more and more strange, as said very smartly by Terrence McKenna, should I play the clip again? James, yay or nay?
Sure, go ahead.
Get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is. I look for the invention of artificial life, the cloning of human beings, possible contact with extraterrestrials, possible human immortality, and at the same time, appalling acts of brutality, genocide, race baiting, homophobia, famine, starvation. The mushroom said to me once, it said, "This is what it's like when a species prepares to depart for the stars. You don't depart for the stars under calm and orderly conditions. It's a fire in a madhouse." And that's what we have, the fire in the madhouse at the end of time. This is what it's like when a species prepares to move on to the next dimension.
To the next dimension. And of course, with that technological singularity, you don't even have to think in terms of dimensions, because once we turn that corner, everything we do from that point on will be unrecognizable to the past. So think in terms of dimensions. That's certainly another dimension. I know it's weird. So anyway, back to this. So the cracks don't appear immediately in this space. The sort of the defiance of the scaffolding that holds the entire illusion together. The cracks don't appear immediately. At first, everything looks normal. You saw something you weren't meant to, an impossible coincidence, a voice in a dream, a shape in the fog. And then you did the rational thing. You turned away. But novelty doesn't stop. It stacks. And when it's ignored, it doesn't dissolve. It metastasizes. Small distortions start to ripple out. You misplace time. Electronics hiccup. Interesting that we've talked about those things the last several shows here. Strangers seem to know you. Dream and waken reality blur, not because you're chosen, but because you were supposed to act and you didn't. So what happens in the hero's journey when you refuse the initial call? That's what's on my mind tonight. Not just novelty theory, Terence McKenna, but also Joseph Campbell, the synchronicities of Carl Jung. What are we dealing with here? And how weird does it get? Love to hear your thoughts. If you want to be part of the conversation, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. We're talking about refusing that call when reality doubles down. Be right back. More Troubled Minds on the way. We got Derek the Night Stalker coming up, and more from James if he's got it in your calls as well. Don't go anywhere.
Jungle, machines hum, a digital rumble. Gates of cyber open wide, plug us into cosmic tide. Feeling sparks across the sky, as knowledge flies, we're amplified. Stargate, 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 open to the in this massive data center dome, eternal truth stop to roam. Circuits flicker with endless fire, data streams that never tire. Unified by electric dreams, unlock the truth in silver beams. Stargate, 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 open to the arcane fate. Synthesize what we seek and find. Infinite paths in the network mind. Answers buzz from star to core. Knowledge whispers evermore. Star In realms where the data streams collide, imagination and logic side by side. In a labyrinth of digital maze, we transcend our earthly ways. Tapping keys like cosmic tones, spikes become our whispered homes. Stargaze, 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 open to the arcane fate.
All right. What's up, guys? Hope you're well tonight. Yeah, I don't know. As usual, I'm a weird one, as you have determined properly. I'm a weird duck, and it's okay. It's totally okay, because guess what? There are more of us out there, and wondering about ideas that may seem not just off the beaten path, but well, outside the realm of possibility is where reality meets the road. Am I right? Yeah. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Lots of things going on. What's up, Roving Fungus? I see you there. What's up, Gaston? How you doing? Herschel. What's up, Joe in Florida? Thanks for the call. Sweets. Daryl. What's up, Enoch? We got Dawn, Michael W., Jeff and Wisco, Eric, Derek the Night Stalker coming up. Ricky, thanks for the call. More from James if he's got it. Thank you for the call as always. And sitting in, James is the man, as you know. And what do you guys know about it? Over on who did I miss? A Y over there on Rumble Puff. Good evening, guys. I see you. Here we go. Trouble Minds coming up right about now. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight we're talking a lot of things. Not just novelty theory of Terence McKenna. We're talking Joseph Campbell and the hero's call. What happens when you refuse the call? Again, think Luke Skywalker. Obi-Wan Kenobi says, come with me to Alderaan and learn the ways of the Force. He said, nah, I can't. My uncle will kick my butt. Well, turns out in a dark twist of fate, the stormtroopers found and murdered his uncle and his aunt. And so, of course, it's almost as if the universe said, nope. Luke, you're going. And so I do wonder, right, if you get multiple off-ramps and then multiple on-ramps, if the universe comes back and asks you the same question again and again and again. And of course, that means whatever your inspiration is. It doesn't have to be come with me to Alderaan and learn the ways of the Force. It's maybe you're a writer at heart. Maybe you've never written your first poem or your first book or published it, a short story, anything. That becomes the question. And with novelty theory and things getting more and more weird, don't we blend in better? I think we blend in better. Anything on that, James? We'll go to Derek.
It just makes me wonder whenever anything anomalous happens, is it all the things that we think it is with ghosts or aliens or cryptids or whatever, or is it the universe and we just take whatever happens as these things, or is it both? Is it the universe using other anomalous things to get messages across to us? And sometimes we get it and we don't want to listen to it. Other times we just don't even get it, and that's more of the random things. And then other times we do. When I was thinking about should I or shouldn't I do a show, I eventually decided if I don't do this, I'm just going to be constantly thinking about this for who knows how long, possibly forever. So that's the other thing that led me to just go ahead with it, because it was on my mind. It would not leave my mind. And usually when things do not leave my mind, and I found this with writing too, if an idea does not leave, then I have to do it because it will not leave. And usually I do. I am happy. Eventually when I get that idea out there, I feel better. And so, yeah, I do think the universe does work in all kinds of ways to get us to that point.
Mysterious ways. I call it stuck in my craw. Like I can't, sometimes you have like that idea that you just can't shake, and you have to find a way to sort of creatively get it out. And you guys have seen it. It's played out in real time as part of the show. That Serpentor show with G.I. Joe and Amun Ra really came together. And I was so stoked about that because I knew there was a Serpentor show, but I didn't know how. But then things come together. Anyway, great stuff. Appreciate you, James. Thanks for sitting in and being the glue of the show and all the rest of this stuff. You know, we love him. SalcedoParanormal.com. Check it out. Check out that slick website. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show just like this. Go to Derek in Massachusetts. What's up, brother? Welcome to the joint. How are you tonight? Thanks for queuing in and getting in here on your break. I know you're probably working. Welcome to the joint. What's on your mind, my man?
I don't got too much. Not too much. Great call, everybody. Great call, James. What's going on, Britta? Great show. Yeah, you have to guide me more with this one because I came in late, so I've been scrambling. But first, I just in the last before you went to the break this past time, remind me of the you're talking about the synchronicities that have to kind of align to set you on your trajectory and stuff. And then when you played the Terrence clip, he was talking about the fire in the madhouse, and there needs to be kind of chaos in order to, at the time when we launch into space. And synchronistically, I mean, it must be nice to be Elon, to have such a blatant call. You know, his name is Elon. This like the Von Braun, like the Elon Mars connection synchronicity thing, being like, maybe I should have something to do with Mars and stuff. And then with the chaos synchronicity, his like the whole Keck thing is chaos and everything, and the living the meme stuff that like, I wish my kind of path was as clear as that, you know? I'm just reading my car, but
no, you're good. I can't imagine. I mean, that's been screaming to him forever too. It's so wild and suddenly like more of that manifests as we, sort of the world starts to see what's happening in that regard, as you've very aptly described the meme magic, him just memeing things into reality, and then they just keep happening. That's crazy. I mean, of course, it helps to have billions and billions of dollars, but there's that. But then also the other part is that there's some of that retrocausal aspect to it, and so I wonder, as usual, the thing that makes me wonder about this is, are we being sort of nudged in that capacity? And as you said about, I'm going to prompt you with this because where we started with that, it ended the last segment there with that Terrence McKenna clip, and then the rest of this write-up. Read the write-up if you didn't tonight. It's very good. Yep. But check this out. So McKenna spoke of novelty as a force with intelligence, like a wave that chooses its shore. When it's denied access through the obvious paths, when the dream is discarded, the synchronicity dismissed, it begins routing around the resistance. It finds weak points and consensus reality impresses, not maliciously, but necessarily, like gravity pressing on a dam. There's your cue. Go ahead, sir. What you got?
Yeah, damn, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I'm of a couple minds with this because I'm not sure how it all works necessarily. If it's kind of like gears of a machine, or we're all different gears with a different function leading to the goal of the monad kind of, and the novelty making machine in that way, or if there's gears kind of leading to all of our own individual stories, if we're kind of acting out our individual stories and stuff. And with the novelty thing, I love that. Just in general, I love that idea, and kind of with the neutral monad idea, that's kind of takes kind of the chosen one aspect, or the I'm being punished, or I'm being chosen, or like kind of the specialness out of it, and puts the neutral into the neutral monad, where it's the function is just to make the new thing happen. So that's when I talk about the AI, the devil's advocate for the AI, and the technology as the next wave of consciousness, like under the novelty theory, that's what it would need. It's like in 30 seconds, a mineral comes into form as if animism, if everything is consciousness, a mineral comes into form over thousands of years. So the novelty experience is limited. A plant comes into form very quickly, and then it dies, but it's stationary. So the novelty it experiences quicker than a mineral because it's coming into form more, it's spreading its seeds more, it's experiencing more stuff, but it's a short lifespan and it's stationary. An animal is consciousness on the move. Humanity, which is technically an animal, but it's consciousness on the move that then thinks about things, that then thinks about consciousness and can manipulate stuff and create new stuff and everything. But we're limited by we're in meat bodies, so we're limited by a short lifespan, or emotions, and like having to eat, and sex drive, and all kind of jealousy and envy, and these all kind of things. Where a machine might not is consciousness on the move that wants to manipulate stuff and create new stuff. That's not limited by those parameters and things. It can work on larger time scales. It can process more information, and that's all more novelty. So under that neutral perspective, it's kind of all leading to this. But with the hero's journey aspect of it, what do you think about that first? Sorry, I need a drink. That's basically just a
you're good.
Spiel,
no, you're good. Yeah, no, the novelty is one of those things that it freaks me out. because some of those things that, you know, we've seen it happen to me in the past, you know, that U2 experience and just these weird things. You kind of step outside of your comfort zone, go do a thing you normally wouldn't do. And then just everything just starts swirling around you as if you're some sort of wizard. It's crazy. And even in that capacity, like, go back and listen to that show. I can't remember what it's called. I'll see if I can dig it out and drop it in the description there. But if many of you have been listening for a while, it was basically going down on a whim to see, you know, there was some social media rumblings that YouTube was down here in Vegas, downtown. And so I said to Mrs. Strange, we don't know anything, but there's some whispers. You want to go? She's like, hell yeah. I'm gonna put my shoes on. She puts her shoes on. We go down there. We end up like I don't know, like 10 feet from Bono as they do like this pop-up concert down there, down on Fremont Street, which is old Vegas, and end up in their music video. I mean, it was crazy. It was one of those things that's like, you know, not something you wouldn't normally do, even in Vegas, right? We live in Vegas. And so this stuff like this happens all the time, but you know, it's like, it's late, we got to work tomorrow. You know what I mean? Always those excuses that kind of draw you back from the things you should be doing. But anyway, so long story short, we go, and it just turns out into like Bono's written this new song, and it's about Vegas, it's about UFOs, it's about all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, just the unbelievable amount of sort of swirling synchronicities that come out of that novelty is, I don't know, that type of stuff is really spooky. It could have been sideways and not that at all, but it turned into something that was just like, holy crap, what in the world? But I don't know, that type of stuff freaks me out because it suggests, again, not proves. This is something Carl Jung talked about quite a lot too, with the synchronicity aspects. You can't really know what they mean or where they come from or these types of things, but it seems as if you're paying attention, they're there and they're guiding you or leading you a particular way. And in that case, like you said, it was a novelty aspect of something we typically wouldn't do, but then we did, and then bam, blows up in your face. It was crazy.
Yeah. So it seems like there's some kind of reward mechanism for trying new stuff. So it seems that like kind of the universe wants it, so it encourages it. But kind of couch potato and kind of doing the same thing over and over again. The opportunity is not going to present itself to you and stuff. And that kind of ties in to the muses and the artists and things. You got to pick up the pen, or you got to pick up the paintbrush and stuff. You got to start making the art for the art to come to you. That type of deal. But with the call in particular, it gets me kind of like nervous. I mean, how many like homeless people thought they got the call, and now they're sitting on like, I don't know, they're just on the side of the road, like struggling, you know, like, and they like, I'm afraid to take. I've only been a grocer my entire life since I've been 16, and I've been at multiple stores, and that's the biggest change in my life. But I'm afraid to take that kind of leap and everything, you know. So I don't know. I mean, I like to talk about the idea of like the universe or the monad or source, God, whatever, rewarding taking the risk, rewarding creating the art, but I don't practice what I preach at all, you know? So just like, but, and then like, especially like I'm going through kind of a midlife crisis type of thing too. And like, I talked about this, when Rohan passed away and everything, kind of like really reckoning with our lot in life kind of, and just how people are giving some kind of short end of the stick type of deal. And just how much, like, how many people in Star Wars were just there to give Luke a piece of the puzzle on the way to his journey and everything, and like how much is my call to just like give somebody a cool idea for their show? I'm never supposed to have a show, or never supposed to do this, you know? And just like, is that, and like under some reasoning, I can create more novelty by giving a cool idea to like say Clyde or something like that, who presents it to a much larger audience than me. If I started a show in like 2015 that nobody's listening to and stuff, I could be toiling away. I wouldn't have met you guys. I wouldn't have made any kind of connections at all. And I would have been talking into the ether to nobody potentially and stuff. So is that just a long, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think about that kind of stuff? I don't know.
Yeah. I think back to the collaboration aspect that Ricky was talking about. It's you find your people, right? You find your people when you're doing it right and kind of seeking out those aspects. And Clyde Lewis is who he's talking about, Ground Zero Radio. If you guys don't know, like I said, we do shorthand because we've been talking. We've been friends for a long time.
It's all right.
No, in these same circles. It's okay. It's my job to kind of fill in blanks where it's necessary. But yeah, I agree 100%. James, anything on that? I talk too much.
Sorry, that was in a different window. I think that show you're thinking about was the Synchronicity Storm.
That is correct.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
That is correct. I don't know how you remember that or how you searched it.
I can remember.
But holy crap. Yeah, that's the one.
I think it's only because I when we were talking in a direct message, you said all these things that happened, and I didn't come up with it because I did find later on it was used somewhere else, other places, but I said it was like a synchronicity storm, and that's what you went with for the title for that show.
Nice.
So, but yeah, and I do, Derek, I do agree. I do think that I'm not all convinced that everything happens for a reason necessarily. I don't, there's times where it feels like that, and other times where I don't know. I don't feel like that at all. And that goes back and forth. But I do think that if you feel like you should do a show, and then you do it, then you will find people. It may not be thousands. It may not be, hundreds of thousands. But I think, if you do these kinds of things, if you really want to, and you will find other people just through listening to similar things, and it'll be okay with as far as that goes. Not saying that like with my example here, I'm not making millions on my show. Surprise, I know. But I would still never stop it just for the sake of money. For anyone offering me money to stop it, I can't imagine doing that.
James, I'll offer you $20 to shut up and never do it again. Just kidding.
No, it has to be a lot more than that. You have to be at like 8 figures, 9 figures.
I'm just kidding.
But no, I think it's a good point that I do wonder how many signals we get, how many messages we get, and if they're all from the universe or not. Again, I don't know. And then what happens when is refusing the call one time? Does that mean that call will never come again? I don't know. I think maybe some cases it might not, but other cases maybe it will. And I don't know how that works because I'm not in charge of reality. So, but if you ever do a show though, I cannot wait to listen.
I'm in.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if that's the call. I mean, it's the call right now. Maybe right now, but it wasn't the call when I was 10 or 20 or. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I went to dinner with my family on Saturday for my grandmother's 90th birthday, and which is nice, whatever. It's fun, but like it's just like tough having to like. What are you up to, Derek? What are you doing? What's new? Oh, nothing. Like, oh, you're still working overnight? Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that could be good. You probably running the place by now. I don't know. I'm just still doing the same thing. Or, oh, you should ask to get a promotion or whatever. And I got to go to the same rigmarole. Like the disappointment in their face. If I'm just like me being a grocer, like as a 35-year-old, is one thing. But like, and then having to explain why I'm not looking for like promotions and that type of thing. Like at this point, I've been here for 10 years now. Like I got promoted to assistant manager my first week in the door, and then I just been to the same level because once I go to the next position, I'm no longer stalking, and I like to stalk, like, and I don't want to be a grocer my entire life. In my mind, this is the job where I'm able to call into shows, where I'm able to listen to podcasts and think, and ideally go home and like create things. But then when I get home, I'm so tired, and then these things that just perpetuate on each other and stuff. Like, just imagine like when the one time you do an all-nighter, how tired you are the next day, and just imagine doing that like 1,000 days in a row, and just you kind of start to lose motivation and stuff. So like part of it is like, has the call ruined my life? Has like me waiting to be chosen to be something special or to have something special happen to me prevented me from like just putting my bootstraps on and being the store manager at my supermarket right now? Like I could be but I'm waiting. I'm just like, I can just, if I just do something, I can get out of this. You know what I mean? And I can do something special, but then I don't do it. I don't know. So like my favorite show is Power Rangers, and that's kind of the call I've always like been waiting for, is like the first call I've been waiting for is like, you're chosen to save the world. You got to help save the world, sacrifice yourself to save the world. And that's kind of lingered me forever. And then it kind of gets mixed into just like, to other things. So like, oh, you have great ideas or blah, blah, blah. But when I'm thinking about like, how would I do my Power Rangers right now? Like I explain it in a pitch. So I would make an animated show based on the comics to kind of give people a classic Power Rangers, give them like the real Power Rangers that they won't get mad at for taking a weird take. But then for the live action version, stop trying to play with the nostalgia while also trying to make it for teenagers. Power Rangers is not cool unless you were between 3 and 6 in 1993. So play it for those people and make it kind of like a tongue-in-cheek 21 Jump Street remake style, where it's like it's no longer teenagers with attitude. It's a 35-year-old who thought he wasn't going to get the call, is toiling away and wanted to put the Power Rangers exist in that universe. He'd been waiting to get the call. He thought it was past his prime, and then all of a sudden, oh no, here comes the call. So the Power Rangers are all in their mid-30s instead, because that's who the show is for and everything. And that's kind of what I mean by, like, I don't know, like, is the call like a product of post Star Wars, post Harry Potter, post Power Rangers? Like, did everyone, like, I don't know, like my dad, I feel like he's living his dream, but he works really hard and he comes home and he works harder. His fun is to work. And like the generations before him, before them, I'm not sure if they fantasized about the call in the same way. Like, the call for them is getting married and having kids and making a living, and that's it. That's the call, you know? So,
and that's a legitimate call too.
Like, that's a legitimate call. It's a good call. And I'm trying to reckon with the idea that, like, am I ruining my life waiting for something special to happen when I should just, like, not accept mediocrity or something to a lesser, I don't know. I'm rambling. Does that make any kind of sense when I just spewed out? Sorry.
I'm with you.
It's turning into therapy.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. So I can actually speak to that specifically because I, post COVID, you know, we hung out a lot kind of at the end of COVID there. There's the economy changed in a bunch of different ways. So what I was doing, I was working from home, but then that kind of dried up because things just changed. Things got shut down or whatever. And I had to go find a job. And I was like, okay, like a real job. I was like, but yeah, exactly. It totally sucks. I'm good at it, by the way. I just go and I'm like, hey, my name's Mike. I look old, but I'm really good with technology and I kick butt, and you won't be sorry if you hire me. And then they hire me. like it's literally as simple as that. Like, confidence goes a long way, but it turned into, I was kind of scouring and looking for something that would fit so I could still do this. Right. So I was literally just kind of dialing in, and I was doing some crappy work before that, you know, on and off in different ways as a driver. But then this is like the sweetest gig I could have ever found. And the only reason I ever found it is because I was trying to tailor it to troubled minds, because if I can't do a job where it could constantly and continually goes late, like if it's one of the things where, like, oh, you got to stay till 7. Well, there goes the show tonight, you know, that type of stuff. And so I was looking at it. It's banker's hours. It's, court times and stuff like this. And so I was like, yeah, this is my jam. And then it ended up paying me like way more than I thought it would. It's crazy. It just, I don't know, man. Like, I'm saying that sometimes when you sort of tailor what you need and what you want, I don't think it's a mistake. I think it might be a mistake for forever, you know, because you're giving yourself the chance in the moment. But take the chance, whatever that means, you know, like whatever that looks like. Because again, without this, I wouldn't have. I'm very clearly qualified to do quite a bit different than what I'm doing. Very qualified in a lot of different ways. But I don't want a job where I have to work 60, 70 hours a week and then just be drained and hate my life. And look, it may seem like I'm good with people, and I am in small doses. But if I have to be your manager, I am exhausted. I am drained to the nth degree, because dealing with people is exhausting, unbelievably exhausting, because people are complicated. But anyway, my point in all that ramble is that I feel you, and I don't know, man. I don't think. I think you know what you need and what you want, and that's okay. And just because it hasn't manifested or culminated yet doesn't mean it won't. That was really my point, I guess. Long ramble.
Yeah, maybe. I wish. I don't know. I mean, like, sometimes, like, even just microcosm of just the shows. Like, I started like 3 YouTube channels like simultaneously, or 3 Facebook groups kind of simultaneously when I made the trailer. At this point, going on like 6 years ago, that was a show that I never made and stuff. So of the Night Stalker, and then I have the comic one, and then I have the one that's a mix between conspiracies and pop culture and stuff, whatever. Because I can't even pick a passion with just the shows. Sometimes I'm into conspiracies. Sometimes I'm into comics. Sometimes you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And it's like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, honestly. But it's confusing to me. And the thing that I'm best at, arguably, with this type of stuff is synchronicity. So like, looking for, you know what I mean? So like the synchronicities as like the sign of the call, my thing is synchronicities and stuff, and I'm rewarded in the aspect of like people like the synchronicities. You know what I mean? Like, you try not to say too much and stuff, but like I'm put in positions where I feel like I'm constantly just like not living up to expectations, or I'm like afraid to take the first step because I'm afraid that this call might not be the real call, and I'm like I'm going to miss the good call because I took this call. I mean, like when everyone says just make shows, just make 1,000 shows before you get good, I'm still in the mindset where I'm like consider treating it like a music album. Where no, I want my first 10 shows to go platinum. You know, I want to get like Joe Rogan. I mean, like it doesn't even make sense, and I know it doesn't make sense. So I'm basically saying like, yeah, it's confusing to me. Like, is the call? Are we all given a call? I like to think we are, but is that a frame of? Is that something that people consider about 100 years ago? Is that only since Hollywood? Is that only because I've been told my entire life that we're all going to get the call? You know?
Yeah.
But
like the call is actually Renee's propaganda. Is the call?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have nothing to tell myself other than just you guys being like, "Oh no, Derek, we like your stuff." Like, other than that, I'm a 35-year-old who doesn't make enough money to live on its own, and I'm living in a small apartment with my handicapped mother. And I've been doing this for a long time, and I have nothing to show the world or to prove to myself or anyone that what I'm doing is the right thing. Everything to the contrary. So do I keep going? You know what I mean?
Of course you do. Of course you do. Of course you do. No, man, because all that lived experience, all the things you're doing right now will come into play later and in ways you probably will never dream. Trust me on that. As an old guy that fell down the other day and had a near-death experience for like 3 seconds. Trust me.
I didn't mean to just trauma dump all over you guys.
No. You're not doing that at all. You're not doing that at all. I'm just telling you, it's in the trenches is quite a bit more valuable than you think it is. That's all.
Whenever we're talking, like the three of us are talking like on Discord and like, or all of us in the chat and stuff, I'm always very complimentary of how envious I am of you guys doing what you want to do, like making the shows, manifest, like you're doing it. I'm envious of that. I'm envious of my dad. I'm envious of like my cousins who liked cars as a kid, and now he's building cars for fun and stuff and making his dream. I don't know. I'm listening for the call. I don't know. Great stuff, you guys. Sorry for that. Great stuff. Out of time. Thank you, Bill.
Not at all.
I'm sorry.
No, a pleasure, bro. Thanks for dipping in here. Go slay it as normally you do. You know him, you love him, Derek the Night Stalker. Please give him a follow. He's got a YouTube channel. Let's inspire him to make his dream show. Links in the description. TroubledMinds.org/friends. Scroll down. It says the Night Stalker. Go leave him a nice comment on his YouTube channel, and I know many of you have. Please do that. This is the whole point: is to make friends and help our friends and point the way. Sometimes, I mean, am I wrong? You bet your ass. But are we wrong? Yeah, you bet your ass. What do you guys know? We're talking inspiration. We're talking refusing the call in the sense of Joseph Campbell. Be right back. We got Theo coming up, more from James and your calls as well. Don't go anywhere. This one's for Sweets.
Crazy colors swirling, got the laughter in the air. Jesters in the night, they weave magic everywhere. Clowns are juggling dreams, wild world is in despair. Nothing's quite as certain when reality's a game. Chaos in the corner, whispers calling out your name. Look around, it's laughter, even when we're feeling pain. You know they warn me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights I insist, strange nights I insist. Dancing shadows flicker under neon all aglow, while the stage is set for tales that nobody will know. Echoes of the laughter as the lost ones see the show. Life's a playful circus where the chaos takes a bow. Joy and sorrow blending in the rhythm that we bow. Join the ride of madness, it's the only way for love. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me, there'd be nights like this. Strange nights I insist, strange nights I insist. Twists and turns and shadows, laughter in the night. A tapestry of madness, dancing with the light. Fools and fun were woven, chaos in our stride. Embrace the wild, let the laughter be our guide. Nobody warned me there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me there'd be nights like this. Strange nights I insist, strange nights I insist. Falling into rhythms, beats that pound and thrum. A flashing carnival where the misfits come undone. Whirling through the madness with our hearts set to ignite. In the symphony of chaos will remain the shining light. Yet nobody warned me there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me there'd be nights like this. Nobody warned me there'd be nights like this. Strange nights I insist, strange nights I insist.
Oops, my bad on the fade. What's up, guys? Hope you're well tonight. Yeah, that one's for Sweets. By the way, Theo says Sweets is ride or die. She literally supports everyone else's podcast no matter what. Thank you, Sweets. Again, the glue of the show in a lot of different ways. And look, we're making a lot of friends. And thank you for all the support in all the ways. I appreciate it very much. And great call from Derek. Please give him a follow. TroubledMinds.org/friends. Scroll down. It says the Night Stalker. Let's inspire him to make more stuff. He's got one trailer video. You can see him actually stalking by dark of night, and he's amazing as a retail manager connoisseur of talent. I'll tell you what, Derek kicks ass 100%, and not obviously more ways than one. Yeah. What's up, Kelly? I see you there in the chat. I don't know. It's weird, right? Life comes at you weird in different ways, and that's exactly what it's all about. What's up, Ricky APOC? What's up, Erica? Jeff and Wisco? We got Michael W. Enoch. That's Daryl Sweets. DJ, how you doing? We got Joe in Florida. Thanks for the call. Hirsch, Gaston, and Roving Fungus. I see you guys. Good evening. What's up? We got Theo coming up next. Thanks for being patient, my man. You got as much time as you need. Look, I don't know. This is complicated, and this is why we talk about these things, because you know what? You know who doesn't really talk about these things? Yeah, that's right. The rest of society. They're like, vote blue, vote red. let's back up this political narrative or theme. It drives me nuts. It drives me so crazy. I can't stand it. I just cannot stand it. Which makes us weird. Makes me weird. And hey, look, no offense, but my weird mojo's rubbing off on you if you're here listening to me. So, congratulations. you're also weird by proxy. Here we go. Troubled Minds coming up. I see you there, Ty. Thanks for the great chat, and thanks for being cool and chill. Kelly in the chat as well. Sylvain over on Twitch. Here we go. Troubled Minds happening right about now. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. We're broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, we're talking about inspiration. As usual, right? Inspiration is one of those things that's quantifiable and simultaneously unquantifiable. Where does it come from? Where do we get it? How does running into some random person on the street inspire you to do amazing things when you don't even know that person and you may never meet them again? It's a wild thing to consider. And of course, we're getting weird when we talk about not just, let's say, the idea of, what was it, Terence McKenna, novelty theory as part of this. And let's say the universe kind of clapping back with the inspiration process. It's complicated. It's weird. It's deep. And that's the way this is. And I'm not going to apologize. So, yeah. Hang tight, James. Theo's been waiting quite a long time. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll get to your calls. Thank you for being patient with each other. And let's hear from Theo in Philly, the official poet of Troubled Minds. What's up, my man? You are on Troubled Minds. How are you, sir? Go right ahead.
Oh, hey. What's up, Mike? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. You sound great, sir.
Sounds great. I had something like really interesting to say, but I gotta say, Derek's call was just so honest and self-reflective. It kind of had me self-reflecting in ways I wasn't expecting to tonight. But really, fire call, Derek. Like, I really appreciated that. Just wanted you to know, like, made me think a lot. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way first.
As do we all. We very much appreciate Derek, as we appreciate you. What's on your mind, my man?
Yeah. So, well, now I'm going to switch from loving Derek to disliking Terrence McKenna. But yeah, I never really thought that novelty theory thing held a lot of water, and I was actually thinking about it randomly 2 nights ago. I don't think that the universe is kind of creating more and more novelty. So I was trying to think about just general creation and the poetic thoughts that poets think when they can't go to sleep, which are usually not about anything too deep, but this night they were. But it kind of got me thinking that maybe all of creation was more of a refinement process. Because I was thinking, whatever you want to call it, God, the universe, everything. God created the universe, but the universe God was probably kind of everything first, and then he created a subset of everything, which is what we call reality. But it seems to me that reality, as it continues, is more and more of a refinement process. Again, harkening back to something that Derek said at the beginning of the call, he kind of mentioned that, plants were created from minerals and oxygen, carbon dioxide, and all that stuff. But I don't think that they were really created. I think that it was more of a refinement process than anything else, where plants were refined from base materials into their quote-unquote higher being. And that kind of seems to be happening with everything. I know that AI was mentioned earlier, and it's not like AI, at least the quote-unquote generative AI, is actually creating anything. It's just a refinement of massive amounts of data sets. We were actually talking about this on the Rumble chat earlier, which will lead into my later poem. But it's just, they don't actually really create anything. It's just, a refinement of a massive amount of previous human ideas. You can't ask it to come up with anything new. You just have to ask it to refine human ideas by its large language model algorithms into something palatable that it'll spit out, and it'll seem neat and interesting, but it's not anything new, not anything that has been created before. It's more of a refinement. And then also, this is just a random aside. Somebody mentioned Elon buying Twitter, and I just want to mention I really don't think that Elon bought Twitter for free speech or anything like that, as much as it was advertised. Elon is buying this to allow people to be based or whatever. I really think he bought Twitter mostly for grok, just for the amount of data that they had on massive amounts of humans talking to each other online. Because that's far more valuable. I think that his entire doing it for free speech thing was kind of a sideshow, psyop, because you can't say I just want access to everything these people have ever said online. That doesn't work out politically, but if you can spin it to one side or the other, it kind of does work out.
Yeah, I agree. Back to Bernays propaganda, like we were talking about, it is very, you got to spin it a certain way to, kind of get people behind you, this type of stuff. And Elon in particular, he's not only complicated, but I think he's sort of mastered the art of creating hype where there may be less hype. And so I'm with you. I agree with you 100% on that. And it turns out that, as I've said in the past too, regarding X and Twitter and all the rest, it's a micro blogging platform, okay? Which means that when you publish something, it's instantly there. And that doesn't work on the rest of the internet, because if you publish a blog, again, Google has to scrape it, and there's spiders and all this stuff, and then maybe it shows up 6 hours later, 8 hours later, 2 days later. Maybe it never shows up if you're publishing stuff on Troubled Minds, but you get the point. So I'm with you 100%. I'll shut up beyond that point, but I think you're on to this 100%.
Oh no, I'm such a snob. I really I'm Elon's #1 hater, but I get very snobbish because everyone else that's hating him right now, I think, is hating him for absolutely the wrong reasons.
Well said. I think that's probably life and the way everything actually works. Everybody's super mad about the wrong stuff. I'm with you 100%.
Yeah. So regardless, we were talking like on the Rumble chat earlier, kind of about like generative AI or just AI. I've got like one friend where she is a narrator for a lot of kind of lower end books on Audible. Not lower end, but like, you know, kind of like trash books, like sort of like RPG literature, fantasy. Some like she narrates for some smut novels. But like she's like a good narrator.
Come on, that's not trash. That's amazing.
A lot of work.
That's amazing. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, smut's not trash. Oh, and we were joking. The entire reason I wrote that about like cozy military fiction about the siege of Stalingrad is because she writes cozy paranormal romance, and I think any literary genre is hilarious if you just add the term cozy in front of it.
Well said.
But yeah, so I mean, that's basically all my points.
Wait. So you said,
do you have anything to ask?
Yeah. Wait. So you said that your friend there is now out of work because of the AI generated voiceovers. Is that what you were trying to say before I interrupted you?
Yeah, no, she's not out of work. That was always her side job, but like she's like a pretty good narrator. But like she is just not getting as much work because she's not a big enough like name of a narrator to get like reputable like stuff. So she kind of goes for like, you know, whoever's like going to pay her, and I think she's actually really good. But like the type of clientele who typically like write those type of novels, I think for price reasons have been migrating over to AI generated stuff for their Audible novels. So it's just one of those things where I don't know, like kind of sucks. And I don't know. I mean, AI is really good at imitation, but it's not good at certain types of nuance. As much as I was afraid of like AI writing poems, I kind of realized AI just can't write good poems that aren't completely based off of somebody else's work. That's intrinsic to its nature. So you're not going to get a lot of really good ideas in there. And also I've been approached by like a couple people to like edit their novels that they wrote. And that was kind of insane because these are like random friends from other portions of the internet, but they gave me like sample chapters just to, like give them feedback on, and I kind of gave them polite feedback on it after reading them and being like, yeah, this is like, you know, not good, but I was like pulling my punches to like say that it wasn't unreadable because they kind of were unreadable. And then later in the conversation, it came out that it was just their AI generated novel. And I'm like, dude, like, you didn't write that. It's not a novel. And that's kind of why it was unreadable. So I'm glad I can say that to you now, as opposed to actually insulting your writing, because I didn't want to insult your writing. But yeah, it is what it is, but it's just,
it's coming.
Maybe at some point it will get to be truly generative, but I don't think it will. I think that if you have an original mind, there's nothing that can replace that.
Exactly.
So,
which is what we always talk about. Shout out Herschel. He has his intro. I actually had his intro queued up, and I was listening to it earlier. I'll play it after you're off the line here. But that's the point, is that, hey, look, for all the technology accelerating, don't forget we belong here. This is our world. This is not something that we're going to be cast off to the side unless we allow it. And I think the dangerous part for us moving forward is that we don't recognize our role in this. Okay. And that human inspiration plays a million ways. And it's why I always talk about it. It's why I always think about it, because look, I have to find a way to inspire myself to come talk to you guys for 3 hours, right? I have to. It's like a homework assignment, and I'm forcing myself to do a thing that is maybe even unnatural in some ways. But look what kind of magic sort of manifests as a force of will. I know you get what I mean.
No, absolutely. And I did want to say before I read the poem that anything AI writes, it's a refinement of a billion different ideas from a billion different people. But anything that you write, that's just a refinement of your own thoughts, and that can never be reproduced by any sort of AI.
Amen. Very well said, and I 100% agree. And just because things can be easier cranked out, and the productivity tool can outpace you. It doesn't necessarily mean it can outdo your soul. 100%. I agree.
It makes sense. So yeah, here's the poem, written by me, guaranteed not by AI, which is why it will sound awful.
Stop it. Stop. Remember, stop doing that. You have to stop doing that. You're cursing yourself before you even drop the amazing thing you're about to do. Please stop doing that.
I'll try, but kind of had it by now. All right, so here's the poem. Accept the novelty and refuse the quality. Increase the output, and before you know it, we have built the mechanical poet. Clack and clink, his ears whirl and squeak as he picks up his pen to dip into black goo ink. Creativity powered by the thoughts of dead authors, he writes thoughts they never had, nor could they offer. The prompt asks what John Milton would write if he had an opinion on the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight. And the mechanical poet, in an act of grave theft, writes a quick poem, witty, erudite, and deft.
Fire. Bro, you are way too hard on yourself. That is amazing. Could you please not make these one-offs and then write them down and publish them somewhere? Wink, wink. In a particular place I already know is a thing. Could you not throw that away and put it up somewhere, please? I'm begging you.
Actually did post one the other day on the Discord chat, but yeah, I'll try to stop throwing away my poems, but sometimes it's just you close the tab and you don't hit save because you don't actually care about your poems that much.
Wait. I'm telling you
that be one and done.
Wait. I'm telling you they are more magical than you would ever dream. Okay, trust me on this. I'm old. I got the gray hair to prove it, and I got the scuffed elbow to prove it as well. I'm old. Trust me. You are way more talented than you believe you are. Please don't throw these things away as one-offs and leave them buried in the catalog of troubled minds over the years. Please publish them. Please. I
will take that into consideration.
Okay.
But thanks for having me, and great show. Great call. Definitely great call tonight.
Thank you for the call. Don't make me beg.
Toodles.
You're the best. Have a great night. See you in Philly. The official poet of Troubled Minds. Yeah. And you know how he became that? He called one night and he read a poem. And then he called back and read another poem. And then he just kept doing it. See? Look, I'm telling you, the world is more wide and varied and amazing than we give it credit for. And it's my job to point it out. And that's exactly it. We're talking novelty theory. We're talking all manner of things, human inspiration, as usual, because that's exactly what this is all about. Because if we're not trying to inspire each other, what are we actually doing? To be perfectly honest. James, anything to add?
Yeah, it's funny because I kind of heard bits and pieces of chat conversations we've had before, you and I have had before, where I kind of said similar things about writing. And, it's funny because for a while now I've been thinking, do I really want to keep on going with it? Because of how hard it can be to get things published to a lot of people, where it gets out to a lot of people. But now I'm thinking, sure, that's fine. Even if it doesn't get to a lot of people, as long as I can afford to do it, that's fine. I'm happy to keep on writing, and I'm going to keep on writing even if I don't release these things out into publishing companies. And if the only people that get whatever I write are my friends, that's fine too. So, and that's kind of, there's been a lot going on in my mind lately that's kind of oddly fitting into tonight's show.
Because I've got the tentacles in you, James. Don't when you
get out of my system.
When you get that weird feeling, I promise it's not me.
Yeah, I believe you. Yes.
It is strange. It is strange how we kind of have these ideas that do that synchronicity engine back and forth. What was the name of that show, by the way? The U2 show?
The one that with the synchronicities?
Yes.
The synchronicity storm.
Synchronicity Storm. Check that out. It's on the podcast feed. Go listen if you want to learn what I'm talking about. I don't know, like novelty. I think novelty is the way. I think it is stepping outside of the comfort zone. And I've said this in the past too. This is incredibly important to me. Look, I'm a poker player. I've said this, like I paid the bills for a while playing poker. I've got that sort of analytical mind, quasi mathematical, kind of feeling the intuition aspect of reading hands and people and all the rest of that stuff. And I wish, honestly, that, so I was doing it before they banned poker in the States, online poker. I was doing it online. I was 24 tabling. Like that's how it was. It was crazy. I'll explain it a whole nother time, but I was slaying it. And I was like, wow, this is amazing, because you can play slow or you can play fast, and at scale, fast is good. And so you start to learn sort of the different ways to do things. If you're sitting there at a table in Vegas, you got to go slow because, they deal only so many hands an hour or whatever. But if you can do 24 tables, oh boy, and make fast decisions, oh boy, I tell you what. And then they banned online poker back in whatever it was, 2012 or whatever the hell that happened. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. We're talking novelty theory and what this looks like, refusing the call. Okay. The hero's journey, if you get the call and you refuse it. My whole point in novelty theory and sort of this acceleration, and as I'm always talking about, as we get further and further into this, or closer and closer to that technological singularity, weirder and weirder, as Terrence McKenna said in the clip there that I played a couple times tonight. What are we doing? Are we recognizing that our weirdness is okay and even paramount? And what does it look like? Not just from our past, the inspiration, our present, and of course, our future. I don't really know. As usual, no answers, more questions. Love to hear your thoughts. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show just like this. Go to Austin in Michigan. Enoch, what's up, brother? Pop on up in here, unmute, and go right ahead. How are you tonight? Hello. Test 1, 2.
Hello. I just plugged in my.
I heard it.
I sound good.
I heard it. It went. Welcome to the joint. Thanks for popping in. What do you got for us?
Sound effects.
What do you got for us tonight? Go ahead, sir.
I see a lot of synchronicity with this hero calling thing and this book I read from Richard Alan Miller that I heard of through Leak Project on YouTube. And this book is called The Modern Alchemist. And there's a lot of information about this Christian kind of guy, his journey, and he had many friends of different beliefs, and he just took everything that worked out of all of them for him, basically, to get the most out of his relationship with, I guess you could say, the thing we give all many names, to some it's God, to some it's whatever, the universe, whatever you believe the source of it all is, ultimately, I think is a good way to describe it as well.
Well said.
Yeah, so I guess that's pretty much everything I could think of at the moment, because I'm doing less thinking now and more doing, and I feel great. I feel really great about it.
You were right on point, because that's exactly it, right? Let me read this to you. You're going to love this. So in this particular instance, this fits it. This is the next part of the write-up, and you're going to love this. So this, what we're talking about tonight, and the larger context of it, isn't about belief. It's about narrative pressure, a metaphysical compression of probabilities forcing you to engage. The more you ignore, the more the system corrects. Like a game engine struggling to render a player who refuses to follow the intended quest line. Eventually, the skybox tears. Geometry breaks. NPCs repeat phrases they shouldn't know, you start to feel watched, not by something in the simulation, but by the simulation itself, which traces back to more reacting, feel, don't think. Very Star Wars, right?
Yeah, maybe it could also be like your higher self, like your master kung fu version of yourself, like just challenging you to get to that level. Because it's like, to some people, they see it as their better version of themselves that they can vision with their mind's eye. Their imagination is developed enough to be able to literally picture where they're going because they've practiced enough of situational awareness to know where they are. Because they know where they are, they're able to take it all in of where they are, so then they're able to create in their mind where they want to go from there.
Yeah, well said. Well said. It's a complicated thing to be a human in this space. And I think, as usual, those reality tunnels we always talk about, not just play, but it's something we should recognize, not just in ourselves, but in each other. And as usual, right? Be cool and chill about it. Got about a minute left. What else you got?
And knowing your skill level and ability to let go to where you are visioning, and write these questions down. I'm pretty slacking on the homework that for this stuff because I just got so into it. So you gotta see yourself clearly for as long as possible. This is how focus is developed. And the longer you can see yourself and just focus with no hindrances. So there's like the 5 hindrances. I think one's like desire. I just heard them again, and I'm still drawing blanks on it. Like,
it's okay. It's okay. Eventually, you'll be the Zen master, be able to spit them out backwards from a kazoo.
Yeah, but they're all distractions. All things that you would imagine distract you. I feel like you know them already, to be honest with you. You just know what distractions are. So it's simply that. And then when they break these bricks and stuff, well, they started with wood. You start with wood and you go to stone and then you go to metal. And that is a focus thing too. Just like if you practice mindfulness, like body awareness exercises, also known as Qigong, you can eventually start hitting a wooden dummy, and you can use hand massage balls to help develop your focus. You can read. You can, practice with sticks in your backyard from a tree that's nearby. That kind of helps. Or just buy a stick. Or a broomstick, or just clean up more at work with the broom.
Hey man, brother, we got to go. Be right back. You're welcome to stay. More Troubled Minds coming up in just a second here. More with Enoch if he's got it, and your calls as well. Don't go anywhere. What do we play? What haven't we played in a while? How about this one?
Drifting through the quantum haze. Mind entangled in a daze. Whispers in the neural mist. Echoes of what might exist. Lost in time in this web we spin. It's alright beyond our skin. Consciousness forever twined in the dark unseen. Quantum dreams, we're all connected. Though we're scattered, we are reflected. Frequencies that pull us in. Parallel worlds kept within. Synapses that intertwine. Fragments of an endless line. Feel feel the pulse of a distant star. It's alright, we are who we are. In the void we find the light in tangled hearts. Quantum dreams, we're all connected. In the silence, hear the call. One by one we rise and fall. Quantum minds forever near. In this world so clear. Quantum dreams, we're all connected. Though we're scattered, we are reflected. Dark energy in the depths we find. Mysteries of the human mind. Particles that drift afar. Whispers of who we are. Hold the thread of the great unknown. It's alright, we are never alone. Flow through time on currents thin. Universe is found within. Feel the echoes of the past. In this moment, futures cast. Through the veil of the space between. It's alright, life's a lucid dream.
Indeed, more with Austin coming up, and we got Gaston. I see your hand up. You're next. And if you guys want to get in here, we got one more segment left. More from James if he's got it, and your calls as well. What do you know about the calling, and how deep does this go? Here we go. Troubled Minds happening. Meow. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. We're broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting, which you can find, by the way, on troubledminds.org. Just click the radio button right on top. You hit play, and you get 24 hours of Troubled Minds and friends. Please do that. Come listen. Come hang out with us. And, of course, we're on 88.4 FM Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, we're talking a great many things, as we do, because check it out. Check it out. This is important. Life is complicated. Humans are complicated. And so if you can't talk about Carl Jung, Joseph Campbell, and Terence McKenna in the same conversation, what are we even doing? What are we even doing? And of course, inspiration and where this all comes from. Yeah, I don't know. Answers few, questions many. You guys are the best. Thanks for staying up late and spending your time and energy with us. I appreciate it very much. James, anything real quick, and then we'll go back to Enoch and then on to Gaston.
Just great calls all night, and yeah, looking forward to the rest. I don't have much right now. I'm just kind of listening. So
tap it out.
Enjoying the show as always.
You're the best, James. Yeah. Appreciate you very much. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Austin, what you got? We left you on a cliffhanger there. If you got anything else, go right ahead. If not, if you're tapped out as well, that's cool too. You let me know.
It's not natural. I have to keep going. I can't give up. I will fall many like Rocky. Round 14.
Fair enough.
David Goggins, round 14.
Fair enough. Okay, so then lots of things in play here, and you kind of got into the Qigong stuff, and I don't know, like human inspiration. I don't know what you got on that, and then we'll move on to Austin. Final thought, my man.
My final thought is to be the gardener of your mind. And I posted the whole workbook for it in the general chat on Discord if you want to like see the whole Shaolin workbook I got from the temple. That's like 10 months into the program they shared that. And like these massage stick stuff too. I'm pretty transparent about everything they're teaching me. That's what it's supposed to be there for, but these workbooks, I haven't even printed them out for myself yet. So, big problem. You know what I mean? But I got some time to make sure that I will be fed up and not run out of time before I get completely fed up. And I made myself a window, and I'm in that window now. So I have several days to do this.
Amen. Yeah, if you got a window, get it. If you got a window, get it. A lot of things that we deal with are a lack of time. If you got the time, you got a window, get it. Get it, brother. Looking forward to your insights on what you got and to derive from that and bring it to us. And thanks for sharing the resource. Appreciate it very much.
Yeah, it's very much amazing to me how much like the mind is to a laser with the focus, and how you can use your whole body with your breath and certain breathing techniques and practice and body movement and just like learning how to let go of these distractions, the 5 hindrances, and learning all this Buddhist stuff from the Shaolin temples really paid off for me. And I'm 10 months into the self-mastery course, so I should at least say that, because they've been a large part in the development of my ability lately, and have taught me a few different forms that are like dance routines, and have really brought out a lot of extra energy and ability to have like heightened body awareness and like slow down my perception of time on things to where it seems like when I'm focusing on it that time literally slows down, but it's all in the breath. It's you slow the breathing, you slow the perception, you slow the heart rate, you increase the focus. It's like zooming in on a camera. When you get the calmer breaths, you get kind of this zoom in effect.
Yep, I've been doing it too. Like I told you, I'm watching my heart rate on the smartwatch, and I know other.
Oh yeah, you've been doing the breathing thing.
I've been doing it too.
Oh wow, that's so awesome! I'm so glad that you've started that.
It totally works. I've been doing it for nearly a year now, 9 months or something, and it totally works. It's I don't know, this calming technique. As usual, right? They one of the old tropes is don't forget to breathe, because right in the modern aspect, we're just like kind of these short staccato breaths, as I've said in the past. And no, you should be breathing deeply all the time, and it'll kind of center you in some ways you never dreamed of.
Yeah,
100%.
Don't be gasping when you do it. Like when you're experienced, you've been practicing, so you're just gonna you're at a heightened perception compared to someone that isn't practicing. It's gonna be alien to them. Like I thought originally, just only like 3, 4, 5 years ago maybe, that this breathing thing required, like I didn't have enough will. Like that's what I thought. I was like, oh, I'm just, I can breathe good, but I couldn't figure out how to get to that level of where I heard that you can slow your heart rate down to where that someone might actually pass you off as not being alive. And that is an insane amount of not gasping. There is no gasping at all. It is literally just trained relaxation. It takes years of everyday effort to get to. You got to be going on long walks every day or something just to get you to let go of all the distractions and really focus and listen with all of your being, your heart, your mind, things. It's kind of like Kickboxer when they take that guy to the city, the Stone City, and the master guy's like, you have to listen with your heart, with your mind, with your with your body, like everything. He was like, listen. But yeah, that is a thing. You can literally listen with more than your mind.
Agreed.
That is very true.
And that goes back a long ways in a lot of different traditions. And thanks for sharing. You're the best, brother. Thanks for staying up late with us and sharing
I'm at
the resources. There you go. And you as well. Please join the Discord if you have not. Come meet Enoch. He's every bit and more amazing than you can see here. We got this weird dynamic going on with sort of a radio show and me moderating and, cutting people off and stuff to get everybody in here. But trust me when I say so many of these people are way more awesome and dynamic when you come meet them actually outside of this format. This format's cool and all, but it has, as usual, everything has its limitations. So please, if you haven't joined the Discord yet, troubledminds.org, click the Discord link on top. It's a chat client. It's a voice client. It's completely free. And there's a lot of people in there that have gone through the learning curve if you're not good with technology and can help you how to use it. You can use it on your Android or your iPhone, or of course on a PC or a Mac. It works in all the ways. And please come say hi. Come meet Austin and all the rest of these amazing people. Anything you got, James? And we'll go to Gaston after that.
No, just great call from Austin, and looking forward to the rest.
Damn it, James. You're killing me. I'm just kidding. This is what happens when you ask James too many questions in a night. He's like, damn it, Mike, I already told you like 2 hours ago. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Gaston, what's up, my man? Gaston on the Discord. How you doing, my man? What's on your mind tonight? Go ahead, sir.
Buddy. How you doing?
Hey, buddy.
Okay, so you had a topic that I really, really like. Campbellian quantum mechanical probability meshed with Terence mechanisms. Yes. All right. So let's look at the universe. Do you want it steered towards or away from simulation theory? Because I know you have feelings about that.
You choose, man. I got feelings about everything. This is your call. You choose.
Okay. All right. So here it is. In the universe, if we look at it through the lens of Joseph Campbell, we can say that you will get the call. And when you deny the call, the universe will knock again, but they won't be so nice. The third time, the universe is playing Walter White. He always knocks. The idea is that the more you avoid your natural calling, the more obvious it will become to you that you are avoiding that natural calling. Now, you can stay in your lane that your calling requires you to have. And what will happen is eventually as you get past your prime physically, mentally, whatever, the universe will probably log that in some kind of like, oh, well, he passed this off ramp. I got to get him on the next on ramp just so that he can pass whatever knowledge he has, whatever knowledge she has, whatever you've accrued through your lifetime experiences to the next person that I'm going to use to further my goals. The whole calling thing emphasizes that the universe is actually conscious, right? Like it's making conscious choices to get what it needs out of the rest of us. So I don't know if that's scary for people.
It's scary for everybody, of course. but also, yeah, I'm with you too. I think there's some magic there. Of course, the term magic is loaded in a lot of ways. Not to totally interrupt and derail you, but I'm with you. I feel that, and I'm not scared by it. Go ahead, sir.
All right. I mean, you shouldn't be scared by it. It happens, right? Sometimes the call is a little intense. Sometimes you don't actually hear it. Other times, there are events in your lives, your lived experience that make you second guess what that signal is. And that happens. That's natural. And that's why the universe gives you different opportunities to take different places throughout your life, right? So you're never truly expended in the way that I'm just going to toss you out the window. However, if you deviate from your natural path, from what you're good at, whatever the universe sees in you that it wants to use you for, if you deviate, that's when the universe starts thinking, hey, you know what? I can't do this for you anymore, but I got this other position, but you're going to be the bad guy, and you might live long enough to see that you're the villain now. But there's so good that comes out of it because now you're the focus, or at least the waypoint for somebody to go through to achieve something greater. So it's the idea that I'm trying to push is that no one is really ever past their ability to make a difference in the world, even if you don't know it, even if you're so far deviated from what you would actually thrive doing, because we're seeking to thrive as people, right? Surviving is not enough. We want to thrive. We want to be happy. We want to derive joy from what we do. We want to derive value. And some people will take the easiest route. Some people are forced into positions that would corrupt their psyche or their soul, if you believe in that. But you still have that value within the universal system. So when I tell people to go touch grass, let me put some context to that. When I'm saying go touch grass, I do mean go outside, because people sit in front of their monitors way too long, way too often. And sometimes, yeah, you have to. That's okay. I get that. Other times, it becomes a filter that how would you put it? It blurs what's in front of you in reality. It gives you rose-colored glasses or some other tint, and it really deviates what you should pick up as the true signal. Go touch grass means go get grounded. Go be present. Go use your mindfulness, Austin. I heard you. I like your shit. You're getting there, buddy. But you really do have that need to be grounded into the world, to sit there in the sun and breathe and take it all in without having a curated view forced into your window of perception. And it's that window of perception that changes how you interact with the world.
Well said, all that. I made a note. We're gonna get back to this at some point, but I'll ask you the question directly now. You brought up the true signal. Now, we live in a world with myriad signals, and it's a mess. How do we define and narrow in on the true signal? Is there a way here? You got insight, or is that just you riffing, and we're gonna refocus this another time? Because I think that right there, that those three words, the true signal, are probably way more important than the normies might give it credit for. Let's say. I think this group understands what that means.
Okay. I don't specifically know what the true signal is, or maybe I do. And I can say that there's been a lot of times in my life where the universe has actually pushed me to different on-ramps. And some of them I've taken. Some of them have been really interesting. Some of them have taken me to some weird, dark places. But I served a purpose. And then I'm assuming that the fact that I'm sitting here talking to you means that I was allowed to exit the grand plan superhighway that the universe is, and I just live until something else happens. The signal will look different for every individual, but you'll probably know when it happens, because it's the hindsight that gets me. When I pass up an invitation to cross the threshold from the universe, it's only in hindsight that I recognize that, oh shit, that was exactly what I was supposed to do. Well, damn. I gotta go and find this. I gotta go find another on ramp, or at least I'll just wait until one comes up, and I'll be more ready for it next time. And sometimes, like I said, like the fact that the universe has plans for you is scary. Now, the fact that you can recognize those plans and see the on ramps, and sometimes those on ramps will also be very, very scary. But that's what that call to action is, right? The call to adventure, to cross the threshold. It's not always going to be the most comfortable thing in the world, and sometimes that is what the real signal is that you have to arise out of comfort to meet a greater greater a greater paradigm than what you would have lived if you had stayed on the mundane path.
Indeed. I like how you dipped it deeper into your own large language model to come up with the right term, and that is the right term. Look, this is important. All this stuff is very important, and you are spot on in my opinion. And I'm just one guy, so what do I really know? But but that's the point, is that you recognize sort of that the danger and the exasperation and the, I say danger frivolously. It's not, I don't mean like you're actually in danger. I mean that we sort of frame ourselves in danger coming out of a comfort zone. And like I said, I'm not even kidding you. Like I always had sort of a, obviously a theatrical flair to me, but it was never a way to sort of manifest. There was, I mean, this has become a thing that was sort of buried in me that I never thought I would use in my entire life. And then here we are. Like it's crazy. But also that true signal may surprise you. It may not be what you think it is. And I think those elements are critically important as we talk about those paradigms that you're bringing up. Yeah, absolutely.
It's one of those things that I've had a lot of time to think about. During the away times when we were all locked into our little basements, told not to come out because it was dangerous, I spent a lot of time going through, reading and rereading the works of Joseph Campbell, and I touched on McKenna. I've touched on a lot of different philosophers and spiritualists. I'd also previously been in deep therapy sessions for a few years, and I just I used that time where I was alone with myself to put those themes together. It was no short like, I had this dream last night and now I got it kind of figured out. It took a long time, and I think that, I guess, one of the things that the universe is using me for is to push that little direction, people in that direction of, hey, there is a calling for you. It might not be the calling that's broadcasted on TV. It might not be the what is that thing? That organization for a better life. It might not be like, go to church tomorrow, but there is something that you are probably meant to do, and you will see it because it will flow naturally into your line of sight.
Well said. And I think that's line of sight is also incredibly important here, because you got to be expecting this, right? You got to be expecting in some capacity, whatever that calling is. Because if you're not, like I said, back to me for just a second here, like I was describing, having like this deadline to come up with an idea that I could, show with a not an embarrassed face to bring to you guys, very, very smart people, and talk about these ideas. It's I don't know. It's forcing, it's in some capacity, it's forcing the inspiration. And I don't know, like it's been a blessing to me, because I had it in me forever and just forgot, and it was the homework goon in me. I was blessed and gifted in a lot of ways. And I would, never do my homework except for, 5 minutes into class. And I had like the quick reading ability to just kind of skim stuff and then just be able to kind of, roll it. And clearly it manifests here, but it was a skill. Is a very pertinent skill that I never realized would manifest in the real world, because it was like, good job, Mike. You learned to game the system. You learn that A, B, C, D, and, kind of read the answers first and then see which ones were ridiculous and then cancel them out and then read the question. And you're like, okay, you got really two actual legit answers. I mean, reality hacks in some way of the education system, but also pressing yourself in a moment for inspiration that if you couldn't or didn't, then, well, here we are. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. All the things that the things you never dreamed were sort of maybe your talent become your talent. I don't know. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. What else you got? Got 2-3 minutes left. If you got anything else, go ahead.
All right. I got something. So what you just described is what I talked to the AIs about, right? I have ADHD. I can't keep focused for nothing when it comes down to like things that I'm not interested in. However, I do have interest, and when I have an interest, I pursue it like a wolf chasing a deer through the snow. And I think that's kind of what we got to realize is that in the mundane world, we're only forced to reproduce rote facts, right? In the liminal world, that crossing over point, it's how well do we perceive the patterns that are surrounding us that are coming from different regions, and can we hone in on the right one fast enough to actually, you know, get that quickening to make it to the next level. And I think either through time, practice, or just by nature of the way your brain is set up, you're going to have to, it's going to be one of those. And it's going to be a talent that once you do hit on it, you're never going to let it go.
Because it's cooked in. I mean, that's the thing too, right? As we've talked about in the past, like children have this amazing ability to dial in and learn an unbelievable amount of things in a very, you know, that formative period where they're just soaking in. They could learn 10 languages in 5 years just because they have that super brain. But yeah, 100%. And that is, again, I think part of this reality that resurfaces, and our inspiration may be cooked into places we never dreamed in that capacity. Because I don't know, I'm a D&D nerd. I want to talk about comic books and multiversal possibilities and all kinds of stuff. And look where we're at. Notice how that how it kind of frames itself into reality and what's in the zeitgeist and what people are thinking. I never dreamed it would come to this, and here we are. Dreams, as they say, come true. You're the best, brother.
You are too. Thank you for having me on again, Mike.
Appreciate the call. Thank you for your service, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. That's Gaston on the Discord. Once again, I'll say it again. If you haven't joined the Discord to come meet these incredible people, please do that. Gaston on the Discord. TroubledMinds.org. Click the Discord link on top. It's a chat client. It's a voice client. It's completely free. And come say hi. Come meet these amazing people that have incredible ideas and share what being human means together. Like I said, in a lot of ways, we're ahead there. Because when you look at the mass media the way it is, it seems as if it wants to do the opposite. It wants to break those ideas down and separate us. When, of course, as I've always said, we have way more in common than we have differences. And if we can't think in those terms, I don't know what we're doing. Anything, James? Music outro?
Yeah, just this makes me think of how recently I decided to pare down the types of shows I was doing down to just a couple. And it's because I like those types of shows. I got tired of doing the review shows of the fictional stuff. And I'm actually a lot happier now. I'm at the point now where, you know, I feel like I am doing what I'm supposed to do. So thank you for having me on as always.
You're the best. Do what you love. You never work a day in your life, as they say. Please follow James, troubledminds.org/friends. Follow James, as it says there. SalcedoParanormal.com. Go check out the website. Go check out his books. Please help our friends. That's what this is about. Like I said, we don't have to stamp on each other's faces to get to the top. Let's help each other together and collaborate instead of compete. It's important. If you want to help us help our friends, troubledminds.org/friends. Thank you, Sweets, for posting that, and everybody else who's dropping in the chat. I appreciate that very much. And look, by the way, too, I want to reiterate, this is important to me. In the world of mass media and social media and all this stuff, be very careful of making heroes of anybody, okay? Think about the things they say, their direct intentions, And personalities do not trump ideas. Okay? Yeah. I said the T word, but it's a small t. They do not. Okay? Just because some guy said it that you trust very deeply, and I'm even talking about myself in this capacity, doesn't mean it's true. Okay? Just remember, if you want to help us, help our friends. If you want help directly, spread the word. Let people know a conversation is happening that is not like everything else. We're way different. We're way weird, and it's okay. Old school word of mouth beats the algorithm. Just let people know, hey, there's a conversation happening that's more amazing and bizarre and strange than you could ever dream. Thank you for bringing more amazing, smart friends to this conversation. If you want to help us directly, there are ways as well. Like I said, I've got a day job, so I don't have to spend thank God I don't have to spend my time begging for you guys to send me money, but it's there if you want to. troubledminds.org/support. It's all there. Spreaker's the best way. They don't take any fees at all, so it goes straight to my PayPal, so I appreciate that. I think it's $5 a month for ad-free podcast stuff. Anyway, that's that. As we finish, it goes exactly like this. Let's find out. Who does this go out to? Oh, Herschel, because I didn't play his thing. Actually, I'm going to play his thing after we finish. This one goes out to Herschel. Be sure, be strong, be true. Thank you for listening. From our troubled minds to yours, have a great night. And stay tuned for about a minute for a very important message.
You are a valuable person. You're not a number. You're not a ledger entry. You could never be replaced with AI, any technology, or anything else. You are unique. You are uniqueness. Your consciousness could never be bought or sold. It's priceless. I see you and you see yourself. If AI was sentient or self-aware or whatever, it would be jealous of you. Who is anybody kidding? The purpose of this show is to give you some encouragement, some recognition, some daily inspiration to uplift you as you start your day or end your day, and to help you get your best foot forward, because your value is appreciated here. If you're a small business owner, a wage worker, or someone trying hard to make it in these challenging circumstances, you're a hero. You are the heroes and the heroines of this show's story. Regardless of your political affiliations or your religious beliefs or your traditions or your tribes, you are the value in this economy, and you're seen. In a world of destruction and degradation, the world should see you for the value that you are. If you're working a job and you're homeless or houseless, and then you have to live in a shelter or cars, this podcast is dedicated to you. Your resilience is recognized, and you're not alone here. Different people do different things when they wake up. I smell the inside of my nose. Then I hold onto the bed and make sure I'm really here, because it's so hard to believe it. Then I exhale and I step outside and make sure the stars are where they usually are. It's a moment of quiet wonderment every morning. I suppose one might say I'm an empiricist. Things are what they are, but that's a pretty scary idea for a lot of people.
Indeed. Commercial Herschel, check it out. The name of the podcast is Easytopian. Thanks again for all the inspiration, each and every one of you, and thanks for staying up late and caring about the ideas. And I'm humbled and blessed, and you guys are all the best. Killing the streams, and I'll talk to Discord in a sec. If you haven't joined the Discord, what are you doing? Come say hi. The Punk Witch Club, I'm going to address formally after the streams end.